Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I am live. We're getting ready for the first ever Whitehouse Crypto Summit strategy roundtable. And so we're just going to do this live and hope it all goes well. And I have no specific expectations. I do have a little bit of lip action going because I'm not going to be able to sit here for 2 hours with nothing, or however long this takes. I have no idea. Looks like we've got about 3.5 minutes until this begins. And, you know, thank you for joining me. So we'll see. I have no expectations on what to expect from this event. And, you know, we're just going to have to wait and see. Let's see what this looks like. All right. How's that look? Okay. Let me make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to play with this a little bit. I don't know how verbose I'm going to be in this whole thing. We'll see. I really don't know what I'm going to say or anything for that matter. Let's see here. I was going to go to a orchestra play tonight with my wife and daughter, but they're leaving now. Apparently they're going to go see Beauty and the Beast, and it's like a long way away. And I'm like, I just can't be gone. I got too much going on. So I'm going to be right here. Hopefully this stream is worthwhile. What am I packing? I don't want to say because I don't want to promote it in any way. Greetings from Greece. Welcome. What's up, Alex? Always in chat. Thank you for joining me, man. BK Crypto. Dave, what's going on? You know what I just found out? I just saw that I'm the fourth largest Cardano D-rep in the world. I have over 169 million voting power, thanks to all of you. And it just blew my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. I went from like top 8 and I'm just slowly working my way up. And I'm thinking to myself, what happens if I became number 1? What happens if I became the largest D-rep in the world for Cardano? You know, there's a chance, you know, depending on what gets going and everything that happens, maybe I'd take a little trip to the White House someday and share my thoughts on things. That'd be a real interesting event. Could you see my big tatted ass walking around the White House with whoever? I'm sure it probably wouldn't be Trump himself, but, you know, different advisors and people. I don't know. I'd say, hey, anybody have a dip cup? So I don't know. You just, you know, with me, I am, what you see is what you get. This is pretty much me all day, every day. And, you know, greetings from Romania. No, I would never touch Copenhagen, man. I tried that once in high school and it just shreds your lip and your tongue and everything. It's so bad. I'd blend right in. Yeah, Poe man, what's up, man? Looks like we've got about 43 seconds till this kicks off. Of course, I'm wearing the appropriate shirt for this event, even though I'm sure they're probably not going to speak specifically about Cardano, but Crow for President. What's up, Jessica Rabbit? Haven't seen you in chat in a while, actually. And you know what else I noticed? I noticed that like 50% of my viewers are not subscribed to the channel. And it's like, listen, why aren't you subscribed? Because if anything, I may ramble and I may rant sometimes like I did yesterday, but at least you're always going to get it straight. You know, I mean, if you want to watch a bunch of people out on YouTube and hype you up and fill your head with shit, but you want some levity.
Thank you for joining me today, whether you're
what is this?
in the audience or watching from your homes and offices across the country.
Is this going to be a scam?
You know, I recently had the opportunity to speak with experts in the
This is AI.
currencies. The purpose of this speech is to share some key takeaways from our conversation and offer my thoughts on the issues we discussed.
This is an AI scam. Scan or regret. Don't scan this. This is bullshit. I don't know what stream this is, but
didn't hold back in their opinions.
this is Elon. This is an AI. You can see from his mouth. I know how to spot AI a mile away, and this is definitely AI. That sucks. So let's see here. Hold on a minute. Well, that really sucks. Because that's definitely not the crypto summit, folks. I'm not even 100% sure that this is going to be streamed. I know Trump is supposed to be speaking at like 3 o'clock after the summit. So now I just have to find an appropriate stream. Is this an AI? And I don't see what Elon would have to do with the crypto summit anyway. So I don't know why they're showing him at all. I hate these YouTube scammers, man. Absolutely despicable. Trump hosts. So far, there's nothing. So here we are again. I don't even think the summit started yet. And if history is any indication, it's set to start at 1:30, which means it might start at 2:30. So I assume Fox would be covering it if it's streamed live. So Fox is announcing it as coming soon. So yeah, I'm going to keep looking. Try CoinDesk. Do they stream any of this stuff? I'll try it, but CoinDesk doesn't even come up in the search results for this. I figure it's better to go live, go early, and prepare than wait till the last minute, because I know whenever it starts, it's going to be late anyway. So I doubt we're not missing anything. I'm going to make my chat box a little bigger. That way the public can see all of your love and your trolling and everything that chat loves to do in the crypto space. CoinDesk doesn't say anything about this at all. Something 3 hours ago. Trump is also scheduled to appear at 3 p.m. where he's expected to talk about his executive order he signed Thursday night. I think it still blows my mind the number of people that don't think any of this is a big deal. Just because the market's not moving with expectation, there's so much happening behind the scenes people don't have a clue about. And I think it's a combination of things actually going on. I think some of it is the left, people on the left with money working against the market to try and make everything Trump says move the market down, get everybody all freaked out and hating on him. I do believe that there's some of that happening. And the other is people that are just loading up. They're manipulating the markets to suppress the price as much as they can for as long as they can because they know what's coming. A lot of these billionaires have insiders. Like they all know. Like a lot of these whales that are accumulating in mass, they're buying Cardano, they're buying Bitcoin, they're buying Ethereum. Everybody's like, why? Who the hell's buying Ethereum? Because they know. They know stuff is about to pop off. And they're loading up and getting ready for it. And while they're doing that, they're suppressing the price. So that's why I don't worry about the price action right now. It doesn't bother me at all. Nothing is streaming this yet. So we're just going to have to wait, I guess. I've got another one saying it starts in 21 minutes, which that looks like BS. There are so many of these BS streams, man, that are going on with these QR codes, and these QR codes will just screw up your phone. So don't scan any of them. If you see any of these QR codes on any of these live streams for this crypto summit, don't scan them. CNBC, I doubt they're going to do it. Maybe, let's see. No. That's saying live in 87 minutes. That's for Trump speaking after the summit. So this could be a situation where they have this crypto summit. Everybody basically fleshes out their ideas, their thoughts, what they're working on. And then Trump speaks and basically announces any kind of conclusions they may have come to, or, of course, he'll address the people he likes, the people he doesn't like. I know there's speculation as to whether or not he's going to announce some form of capital gains tax reduction or cut entirely. I don't think that's going to happen. But if you think about it, hold on. If you think about it, there's my D-rep. Number 4. Bing bang. Hold on. Summit goes until 5:30. Summit is at 3. Okay. Well, then I guess we'll just hang out until then. I've got a candle lit. It smells good in here. Right now it smells like warm apple pie. I've got all my books, my gadgets. Got my Zen. How many of you are delegating your stakes to Cronode? Huh? How many of you actually like me? I haven't even checked the Cronode in a little while, but last I checked, I think it was at like 40 something million delegated. I'd like to get it to back to like 60. Honestly, what I think there's a lot of stuff happening, and I've been trying to put some of these things together. You know, a lot of people were basically dumping because they were saying, oh, well, Charles isn't going to be at this roundtable. And they're trying to use it to create this negative slant. But if you look at the actual attendees, the people that are, and people that were putting out that list of attendees that were confirmed, and Charles was on that list, and then Charles comes out and he says, like, I'm not going. I wasn't invited. It basically goes to show that people are creating these BS narratives, right? Nobody knows exactly who's going. These confirmed lists are trash. We're not going to know until it happens. But the one common denominator amongst all of them was the fact that they are either CEOs of exchanges, or they are like significant whales in some form of ecosystem, not blockchain specific. Like, I didn't see any blockchain CEOs other than maybe Brad Garlinghouse. And I honestly think that they're going to work on a way to, and like Chainlink, I think the guy from Chainlink is going to be there. And 43.6 million delegated. Awesome. Thank you, Dave. Dave is the guy who manages all that, and he does an unbelievable job. Dave Nance, he's in my Telegram group. For anybody out there that has the means of launching a Cronode, I don't mind the competition. I think everybody should probably have one if you can, but it's definitely technical and it's not easy for somebody that doesn't know. But Dave could make a part-time job out of maintaining nodes for people. He's just done an amazing job for me. Very trustworthy, very loyal, very just always working. So like if you're wanting to set up your own Cronode, or for that matter, if you're wanting to set up like an Apex Fusion node, he set mine up too. So if you're holding Apex Fusion tokens and you're wanting to stake it to generate a passive yield, same way you do with Cardano, he can set up Apex nodes as well. So it's very, very similar situation, very similar circumstances and setup. So, don't hesitate to post something in the Telegram chat asking Dave if he's willing to help. But anyway, Sergey, yeah. So I honestly think that they are working out a way to connect all of the exchanges. And I have read nothing, seen nothing. There's nothing out there alluding to this as a concept, as an idea. But I can't help but feel like, why would a president create a round table full of the largest exchanges in crypto, and then bring the CEO of a technology that is basically for connecting data from one thing to another? Now, I've seen arguments and say, you know what, a lot of people think Chainlink is capable of doing a lot more than it is. And maybe that's true, but I don't know enough about Chainlink. All I know is kind of the propaganda around it, right? From Chainlink holders, kind of the same as like, you know, the XRP army, like XRP is going to 10,000, it's going to 1 million, right? All that crazy stuff. So that is more or less like the extent of what I know about Chainlink, other than it basically helps connect chains and data from chain to chain. I'm pretty sure that's what it does. And it would make sense that if they are trying to create a 24/7 market for crypto assets on a global scale, but not only that, but pipe in like the New York Stock Exchange and TradeFi overall, and just create a flow of data and systems and liquidity on a global scale, and they want it all central to the United States. If that's what Trump means as a part of his golden era, well, damn it, if he does that, that will. In addition to that, he's got these $5 million gold cards, right? So let's say you want to be tax exempt, right? You don't want to have to pay your taxes. And the only tax haven that we have in the United States is Puerto Rico. Well, as beautiful as Puerto Rico is, and as amazing as the people there are, which they are, I mean, the people in Puerto Rico are like, it's hard to explain. It's like everyone's on island time. You know what I mean? Nobody's in a rush to really do much of anything. But in terms of like friendships and loyalty and things like that, like they're all very open-minded. They're all very chill. They're all very like, this is me, that like, you know, love me or leave me kind of, you know, like they all have this very similar to me and my wife. And like, we made so many friends there, but unfortunately the government there is shit, in my opinion. The police departments don't make anything. They make like 25 grand a year. And I feel like they're put to task to handle things that they're just not paid enough to do. On top of that, like their pensions, I think, were being squandered by the government, which is why they all went on strike like shortly after we moved. There are a lot of issues. The power infrastructure there is trash. I don't know if it still is. This is based off of when I lived there. But anyway, the point is that that's the only tax haven. And so, you know, in order to benefit from that, I think you have to spend like 20, 30 grand on corporate structures, which I did. I'm pretty sure I still have mine. I just never used it. You have to buy a house, I think, that's at least 200 grand or more. And on the island, I think you have to donate like 10 grand to a charity, which I tried to do that, but nobody would answer their phones. It was a cluster. Okay. Through and through. It's really difficult to hire reliable people. They either don't show up, or, you know, they keep dragging things out, or, you know, like the solar system that I had installed on the house, they completely ruined my roof, which then caused a lot of flooding. And then I hired somebody to fix the flooding damage, and then they scanned me out of 50 grand. I mean, it was a nightmare, man. And so that's all you got. And so you could either go through all that shit, or you could just be in the States, like if you're not a citizen. And then all these other countries are competing for that high dollar investor type, right? Or the digital nomads, or the people that are just out there programming, building, doing things, and like that they can do remotely. And they don't want to pay taxes. So Trump is like, you know what? We need a $5 million gold card. You pay $5 million and you can become basically a citizen of the United States. Those are going to sell. But what's going to be the one big draw of having that? What's one of the big draws across the globe that countries do to bring people in, to make it a sought after place? Why are people going to places like Puerto Rico where it's really difficult to live? It's because of taxes, right? So if Trump does effectively get rid of the capital gains tax, or even income tax, which I think that's a much farther stretch, at least in the short term. But I think that with everything that they're doing with Doge, I think they could effectively get rid of the capital gains tax, make the United States a sought after place to be if you're in the crypto or tech or anything. If you're an investor, if you're a wealthy individual, you pay that $5 million. If you're not a citizen, boom, you get to live in a place with infrastructure, laws, police departments, all sorts of things. And you get the benefits of being in the US while you're effectively getting a tax haven to boot. We would have every major, people say, well, you could go to Dubai. Well, I've done my digging on Dubai. It's not all it's cracked up to be. And, I'm curious to see what happens with Dubai when the oil money is gone. Because from what I understood, just like even a year or two ago, they only had like so much oil in reserve. And that's one of the reasons why they're doing everything they can to attract all these wealthy people to create an ecosystem and a climate of wealth and money and so forth. Because when the oil runs out, if they do in fact run out, which from what I've gathered through different studies, they don't have an infinite supply right now, then they're really going to be struggling economically. And not only that, but the way Dubai has been built with these, people that they've brought in on this hope and a dream that, you work for us and, you're going to have your housing and everything taken care of. And then from what I've seen, if it's all true, I've seen videos of this, but I don't know what's real and what's not because I'm not there like firsthand. But it looks like a lot of these people, they'll put a bunch of these guys in basically like a little dorm that's just, it looks like hell. And like, they're not allowed to leave because their IDs and their passports or whatever are taken from them. They're not allowed to, it's just not, if everything I've seen about Dubai and the way it's taken shape is true, it's terrible. And I'm not going to support that. And it doesn't matter how I benefit. I won't support something like that. So, Trump doing these $5 million gold cards, which it's kind of like having a golden visa in the UK. I think a golden visa in the UK is like 500 grand, if I'm not mistaken, unless that's changed in the last couple years, or since like 2021. But it's a system that I think would like very strongly benefit the United States, benefit our economy, all of the new money that we'd be bringing in, all of the new business. I just think it would really send us to the moon in a lot of ways. And so I think that's a very real thing. So if you basically take this concept of connecting all of these exchanges into one global liquidity pipeline for 24/7 trading, you bring in TradFi, the S&P, the NASDAQ, the NYSE, you bring in all this, then you figure out a way to tokenize a lot of these real world assets the way we've been talking about forever, from real estate. Imagine being able to go to an exchange like a Coinbase and start looking through real estate listings to buy properties that are represented as maybe an NFT or a fractionalized NFT. And we start opening global markets for real estate across the globe. That's happening. To me right now, it's an idea, but I believe that's going to happen. And we're going to start trading real world property. We're going to start trading so many different things, whether it be fractionalized NFTs or some other form or some other vehicle. And we're going to start doing that. And it's going to be a 24/7 market. Now, imagine, if you will, if Trump were able to put together like a circle of these exchanges, all sharing into one liquidity pipeline for all of this. And Trump says, listen, if you guys all work together, we create this major pipeline, almost like a Keystone oil pipeline, right? And that's a liquidity pipeline for the globe. And we're gonna tokenize all of this other stuff that you guys are gonna be making trading fees off of. But all we really want is a fraction of these trading fees from all of you. And we're going to empower you to do the most amazing, the biggest, all of it, right? You know how Trump talks. Then all of a sudden, you've got global liquidity being traded across every investment vehicle in the United States, getting a fraction of all of that trade volume. Do you need taxes anymore for that? That's just that's what I'm thinking could be happening. And this could just be the wildest concepts because I'm just a crazy old dude with a beard, a gray beard. But that is the sense I'm making of things right now. And the just slowly ticking away at the way all of this stuff is ushering in. And then to add to that, a digital asset reserve being established in preparation for all of this stuff because of all of the potential chains that are going to be utilized. And then you have AI. We already know AI is being utilized with the IRS, monitoring bank accounts, basically flagging people that are doing different things. AI is monitoring all that stuff, flagging people for audits and so forth. But imagine AI keeping that traffic flowing, right? Imagine all of the different ways that AI can be utilized to facilitate all of these transactions on a global scale through a central pipeline. And then what's the one thing that everybody's going to probably need to take part in that ecosystem? You're going to need digital IDs, folks. Well, what's the one chain right now that is probably one of the biggest, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, facilitator of a digital ID with a zero knowledge proof protocol to facilitate being able to share what information is necessary depending on what vehicle you're using or what you're trying to accomplish, whether it's to buy alcohol or buy $1 million property in some faraway land, like because you're speculating on its growth and value because of the economy, blah, 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 blah. It's Cardano, obviously. So if you, and the one thing that tells me that could be a potentiality, if you will, is the idea that Cardano didn't even know, Charles didn't even know that it was going to be added to this digital asset reserve, which means that people are looking at it, even in the midst of all of these Solana folks that are just constantly paying and buying and just doing everything they can to be a part of every narrative out there, right? Somebody out there has been getting into Trump's ear and saying, you want to make sure Cardano's a part of this because we're going to be using it for XYZ. And we're working on figuring out how right now. And that to me is how all of this stuff comes about. If Trump truly means a golden era for crypto and blockchain, that to me is a scenario that could very easily play out over this term, where the groundwork is being laid and we're about to basically have the first meeting, the first summit that kind of pushes those potential narratives forward. Now, granted, like I said, I have not seen anything, read anything to suggest anything I just said. From me looking at it, connecting this and that, it's what makes the most sense to me. So we'll see. I'm always right sometimes. So we'll see. WorldCoin, digital ID, Sam Altman, endgame? I don't think so. The only people that want to utilize WorldCoin are the people that are desperate and poor, and they're looking for a handout, and they're willing to get their eyes scanned. I looked into it a long time ago because I was initially, at first glance, I thought, you know what, I'd set up a hub. There's nothing. I was looking at their map of availability, and there was nothing in Florida. And I reached out, and then I don't know. I can't remember everything that happened at the time. It's been quite a while. It was when it first launched. And then I just started thinking, I'm like, no, I don't think so. And they were talking like, well, we provide the equipment and these things. You got these little domes and people just look into them and all that. And then they get tokens and all that. But no, I think Cardano is going to be because what WorldCoin doesn't have is Midnight coming in May. Most likely. I think Midnight's going to be dropping in May along with like the Bitcoin OS, the IOHK's version of the Bitcoin OS protocol and all that. I think a lot of that is going to hit in May, and I think it's going to send Cardano like gangbusters to the moon. And I think everything that's happening right now with the volatility of the price, it's just people playing with your heads. I'm telling you, I just feel like that. I feel it in my gut. It's people with significant assets playing with the markets, playing with retail heads, because let's be real. I believe there are more people in this crypto market than ever before already. And a lot of them are newcomers that heard the stories of all of us that did well in 2021 and 2017. And now they're like, I want to be a ride. I want to be on this boat. I want to be a part of this. But they're all looking to make money as quickly as everyone says it's possible. And they're following these dreams, right? They're following these narratives associated with this chain or that chain. And the greediest of dreams are the ones that end up on this chain. The ones that believe in the true evolution of the technology to empower the globe are with this chain. You know, everything has its own narrative depending upon the kind of person you are. I truly believe that. The more degenerate people that are just like, I just want to make a quick buck, I don't care what happens or how, I just want to make a quick buck, they're going to go over here. And then the people that have more long-term, you know, a long-term perspective, not just about what they could stand to make today, but what that means for their future tomorrow and maybe their kids and their grandkids. And I think they're going over here. And so, and we're seeing a lot of it unfold. Like each and every day, we're seeing elements of this unfold. So it is what it is. Karate chop those likes and subscribe. Yes, thank you, Poman13. Always great, always in the chat, always helping people out in my chat. I love them. So yeah, that's what I think. So let me double check real quick, make sure nothing is popped off that I'm not aware of yet. I don't think so, or I'm sure I would have seen it in chat already. I should almost cut that segment out and create a single video. I don't know. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Should I cut that whole segment out? Should I make that like a Crow's future foretelling for 2025's crypto industry? I don't know. We'll see. I really wish I had like an on-staff editor, somebody to take all my videos, take all the best clips and things and cut them up into cool shit to release. I'm sure my channel would grow. I'm not seeing anything yet. I mean, this is going back a ways. I think I need to kick that fan on. I'm starting to sweat. It gets hot in here, man. Between my big old boss rig computer and these lights that I have blasting me all over the place, I just start to melt after a while. 1:30 to 5:30. I mean, I say that, but it's almost 2 and I'm not seeing anything. Crow, a little gray in the beard looks good, but when you get like me, full white, it's time for the Just for Men. Dude, don't do Just for Men. I tried that shit. I let my wife dye my hair for a little while. Some of you guys will remember it. And you know what I found interestingly enough, and my wife loves it. She gets a kick out of it. Women really seem to love the salt and pepper look. And I actually think it's kind of a fetish for some. I don't know if it's a daddy issue thing or not, but I'll take it. You know, there's something to it. I've had many women tell me, I've had many women tell my wife and I, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, just go with it, man. Just go with it. Otherwise you end up looking like the dude that used to promote, what did he used to OxyClean or whatever. He looked like he was 50 years old with jet black hair all over and it just didn't look right. Yeah, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be an infomercial salesman. And I'm noticing a lot of these links are getting shut down. So that's good because I'm sure they're scammy links. How many of you guys have set up a I Trust Capital Roth IRA? I'd love to know in chat. How many of you guys are still slacking on that? I'm curious. There's almost, 5,500 of you? Between YouTube and Twitter. I'd love to know how many of you guys have set up these Roth IRAs. Sabina said that's true. She knows I'm onto something. It is true. I love it. A woman in chat is saying that's true, rolling, laughing, and then somebody underneath says, "You're not slick, Brody." Apparently I'm slicker than you think. Hey, Crow, what chair you got back there? Looks classy and comfortable. It's just a giant recliner. Just a big old giant recliner. It's what I had to get. I bust through any chair meant for normal men. So yeah, it's what I had to do because I would buy a chair that's supposed to be for like XL people or whatever. And then 3 months later, I'm like busting it under me and I got to throw it out and buy another one. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to get the biggest freaking recliner I can. Billy Mays. That's who I'm talking about. Billy Mays. May you rest in peace. I don't remember how he passed away, but I'm sure it wasn't pretty. I have 2 I Trust Capital accounts, down quite a bit since January. Yeah, I mean the market's going to fluctuate, but like how is it working with I Trust Capital? I'm very curious, like genuinely curious how it's overall, like what's the experience like for you? Like how long are you planning to be invested? Like what's your term, your horizon, I guess you could say. I did. You got one, Gary. That's good. That's good. And listen, I don't make anything. I'm pretty sure I don't make anything if you guys set up with iTrust. I mean, they take care of me on a monthly basis, just for, full transparency. But if you guys set up an account, I don't think I'm getting bonuses or anything. If I am, I don't remember. But I really do. I did that with them because I believe that everybody, even if the market goes crazy and comes down and you make a bunch of money, I still think everyone should be putting a little aside starting now for their retirement. Because if you think about it, let's say Cardano alone, maybe it got to like $25 somehow by the time you retire. Bitcoin gets to like 1.5 million by the time you retire. Like all the ebbs and flows with the market cycles and everything between now and the time you retire, it's not going to mean anything. And if anything, I know there's one thing that I've noticed for years. It's like when the market is the worst, that's when everyone wants out. And when the market is at the top and it's doing really well, everybody just stays put, doesn't make a move. And it blows my mind. It's like the gut instinct for people is to run the second they smell smoke, but they don't realize it's just somebody lighting up a cigarette in the room next door, right? They think the house is burning down every time they smell smoke. And, it is what it is. But I was in a Bitcoin RA, but moved to iTrust. Fees are way less than half. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So iTrust Capital is half the fees you were in before. iTrust is a great company. Good. That makes me feel good as somebody that's partnered with them. I like to get like legitimate user feedback, people that are actually using the service and doing something with it. Because if you guys were in chat and you guys like, oh, I tried it and it sucked and this and that, I'd be like, I don't know, maybe I don't want to partner with them anymore. But I like to see all the good news. It definitely helps me. Probably me smoking. That's funny. Are you concerned that Charles didn't get an invite? Yeah, you're late. No, I'm not concerned at all because I think this is a stage event. Not staged with a D, a stage event. Multiple stages are going to happen, and I think it's going to start with the exchanges. I think whatever they're working on with the exchanges, that's probably going to start getting ironed out first. Then it's going to go to like, okay, now these are the blockchains that we think are going to be able to facilitate XYZ across these different verticals within the ecosystem. How did this, and they're going to bring all them. That's when all the blockchain CEOs like Charles and others are going to come together and start hashing things out. They're going to start structuring policy because here's the thing. Let's be real, folks. These guys aren't going to sit around making policy until they have a plan that they want to implement. And because it wouldn't make sense, right? It would almost be like they're working backwards. So of course they're going to look first at what's going to benefit humanity, what's going to benefit the country, what do we need to do to facilitate everything to obtain those benefits? How does the policy need to reflect that? Then they need to look at, okay, well, if we're doing XYZ, how will the policies that we want to implement to benefit our efforts, how do we make sure that other people aren't taking advantage of those policies for a nefarious good or nefarious efforts, right? And I mean, at least that's the sense it makes to me as to how this stuff is going to roll out. But regardless, it's exciting. I mean, this is historical, folks. I mean, whatever happens today is going to be historical. The Ada shirt, where do we get one? I need to just make one of these and add it to my shop. I've got different shirts. You'll see it in the overhang. There's a link in the description below. Not this specific black shirt, but I'll probably end up making one soon. That's just very simple. Big nothing burger. I really don't think so. Is it going to be a big nothing burger according to you and like the retail market that's waiting for some big God candle to happen because of it? Yeah, we're probably not going to get any God candles. I don't know, but I'm doubting it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to refresh real quick and double check. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything, even if it's just to have something that I know. Okay, it's not on Fox. All these scammer streams. All these scammer streams are just playing old stuff with a Bitcoin. I'll let you guys watch this for just a second. I got to turn a fan on. All right. Well, that was a nothing burger. I had to kick this fan on though. I'm dying over here. Okie doke. Well, that's not it. That's just somebody. I'm not even sure who that is, honestly. Crypto Summit. Nope. There's just nothing yet. They might all be talking privately first. Like everybody's doing the same thing right now. I think everybody's just waiting. Everybody's live, hanging out, doing different things, and just waiting. I'm going to calm down a little bit so I don't get all overheated. And let's take a look at chat there. I know it says 3 p.m., but I think 3 p.m. is when Trump himself is supposed to speak. But I'm not sure if they are. I don't know. Is it closed door? Is that why there's no stream? Oh, okay. Well, if you're here and you're not subscribed to the channel, how about doing that? Subscribe to this old guy. Without you, I can't afford prunes or fiber shakes, fiber cookies. I can't afford any of that old man shit unless you guys subscribe. Closed door right now. All right, well, you know, I mean, we're not too far away regardless when Trump starts talking about everything. Powell was already talking. I already watched Powell's speech. That's already done. Let me see what's happening in the charts. Okay, well, we've come back up to a moving average and now we're ticking back down a little bit. So nothing super spectacular there. Hold on. I'll put that there. I'll put that there. Okay. I wonder if there'll be a maybe I'll check X because I would assume that will have something. Cardano's trading at 86 cents. Blah, blah, blah. Hold up. Okay. Why is this acting weird? There it is. Oh, not trying to get on there. All right, so micro Bitcoin futures. I think we're pretty well in the clear there in terms of CME futures gaps. All that stuff has been pretty much filled and dealt with, so we should be clear there. Weekly candle here. Talk about an indecision candle. I love this because it's just like it's like the biggest cliffhanger in crypto. It's like we've got all of this crazy bullish stuff going on, but we've got this like damn near dead center indecision candle where it could just go either way. What will happen? You've got Bitcoin dominance. It's starting to come down just a little bit. Man, I mean, it's just been ranging, you know, Bitcoin dominance has basically been ranging from like 60% to 60. What's that? Well, I think the peak was 64%, somewhere around there. Bitcoin's price starting to work its way back down a little bit as people are waiting and like, oh God, this isn't live streamed. I'm impatient and I don't get it. My brother told me to buy Bitcoins and now it's going down. I'm going to sell because it's worthless. It's a scam. People just don't get it. They don't understand. Cardano hovering at 86 cents. It's been kind of back and forth. We had a low on the 3rd of around 50 cents. Came all the way back up to over $1, about $1.18. Now it's just hovering right in the middle of that. It's almost like 50%. This is Cardano against Ethereum. And you can see we peaked out substantially. I mean, that we got a huge rip against Ethereum. Now it's just kind of settling back down. Indecision. Everything is sitting on indecision right now. And, you know, listen, man, you got to be patient. You just got to be patient. That's all there is to it. Hit refresh real quick. Just the scam streams. I was seeing people today trolling Vitalik Buterin, and I thought, how it's so nonsensical. I was seeing this stuff on Twitter, and I'm thinking to myself, and I hate to sound this way, but I feel like only a beta male would actually troll somebody that they consider to be a beta male. It's basically the way I look at it. Because yes, Vitalik is a very eccentric dude. He might be gay, he might be bi, who knows? I don't give a shit. I mean, he walks around with little pink backpacks with like furry animals and things on him, and he's always got this kind of peculiar look to him. And it's just like, in a way, I find it endearing personally, but that's just me. I don't judge people that way. I think Vitalik Buterin is obviously crazy high on the spectrum. He's socially inadequate, probably in every way conceivable. But to judge his technical prowess and his technical merit because of how he is socially is one of the most ignorant things I've ever seen. Just being honest. Because I feel like a man whose brain works that way is the kind of brain that's capable of looking at Bitcoin and saying, I want to add something to that, and just sits down and fucking codes it. How many people out there that are judging Vitalik Buterin because of his social inadequacies? Like how much do you really understand about the blockchain space? Like, are you a total degenerate? Like that's just the way I look at it, though. I don't know Vitalik. I've never talked to him, never been on my channel, nothing. I have no allegiance to Vitalik in any way, shape, or form. And but I'm like, to see that kind of stuff just feels so ignorant to me. I mean, like truly it feels ignorant. Not only ignorant, but it's almost like, it's just like a little bit, it's like a beta trying to call out another beta so that he somehow like puts himself in I don't get it. I don't get it. But I just wanted to put that out there. Like if you're trolling somebody like Vitalik, who I believe is an absolutely amazing mind, he's different. For sure, he's different. But why is that not praised more? Why is it that we judge other people based off of them being like us? And that the more like us they are, the better we think that they are. That's ego. And you're full of shit if that's the way you look at things. I actually value people that are substantially different than me. Because I feel like that is if I had a circle of very close friends, which I do when I think about it, it's like if you were to line up all of the people that I consider close friends, each one is astronomically different than the next. I don't have like a group of bros like that. It's just not the way I'm wired. My wife is the same way. It's like we see the value in people based off of the content of their character, as like cliche as that sounds, but also like their individuality. Who wants 20 friends that are identical? That doesn't make sense. That's not what makes the wheel turn. So it is what it is. And quite frankly, if I want to really be specific, I'm in the top like 0.00001% of the population of the earth in terms of like size, stature, every way to measure a human being. So I'm never going to find anyone like me. I'm about as unique an individual as it could possibly get. And I'm okay with that. I don't want to be like everybody else. And I'm certainly not one to judge other people because they're not like me, because let's face it, you can't be. I'm just being silly. It's better to have bros. Hey man, I've got some bros. I've got friends of all walks of life, man. Everybody has a purpose. That's the way I look at it. Vitalik will have more money than I ever will, but I don't vibe with ETH. And you know what? That's not the point, but I hear what you're saying, Dan. Listen, I'm not an Ethereum fan necessarily, but I respect the accomplishment of that Vitalik in creating it, because quite frankly, if we didn't have someone like Vitalik sitting in a dark room coding out his dreams, trying to make sense of a new economy with smart contracts and everything, we wouldn't have anything else, brother. We would just still be sitting here with Bitcoin, a digital lump, right? that like its only real claim to fame is the fact that it's limited supply and came first with a technology that hasn't been hacked or anything, and it's become more and more sought after over the years as it continues to be taught to new people as to why it's valuable, right? It's like the biggest digital Ponzi scheme known to man. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but that's the reality of it. And I'm like, if we didn't have someone like a Vitalik creating Ethereum, we wouldn't have had the ICO boom that brought so many of us, what many refer to as OGs, to the crypto space. We wouldn't have what we have today. We wouldn't have the ecosystem we have today. We probably wouldn't have the government's involvement and institutional involvement. None of this would probably be happening without somebody like a Vitalik or without Vitalik himself. So you have to give credit where it's due. It doesn't matter what the problems with Ethereum are now. You know, it could be, you know, to me, in a way, when it comes to crypto, I look at Ethereum as like your starter home. Like, what do you do when you're broke? You've got nothing, and you're getting married, and you're about to start off on this new adventure of life with somebody, and you buy your first home. You can't afford a mansion. You can't afford a big, you know, palace or anything. You buy what you can afford. You get in where you can, right? And you start that journey. And I look at Ethereum that way. Would I want to move back to my starter home today? No, I wouldn't. But I still value what that starter home did for me and my family at the time. It meant something. I remember my wife and I walking into our very first starter home. We thought it was a beautiful home. I remember us walking through like, look at the architecture. It's so cool. And, you know, it was the first time I'd seen a bedroom with 2 double doors that opened up into a stairwell. And it's like, that house was $179,000 at the time. Okay. And it's like, you know, at the time it meant something, and it still does mean something. Doesn't mean I want to move back to it. That's the way I look at Ethereum today. And, you know, there are a lot of issues and things associated with that starter home that I wouldn't want to go back to. But you know what? At the time when that's all you've got, it was still a significant leg forward. And that's what Ethereum means to me in terms of crypto. And maybe someday it addresses all of its issues and its bottlenecking and its crazy high fees and all of that other stuff. Maybe that day comes, maybe it doesn't. But regardless. All right. Definitely agree. He definitely drove the industry to a new mile marker. Thank you, Dan. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. We have to give credit where it's due. And that's it. The live stream will start in 40 something minutes on Fox. All right. Man, that means I'm going to, on Fox Business. I hope you guys don't mind hanging out with me that long. I don't think I've ever been live as long as I'm probably going to be today. I think maybe the longest I've ever live streamed is maybe 2 hours. I'm not Asmongold. I can't just sit here all day and just talk to this microphone and read my chat. I go stir crazy. As a matter of fact, I'm working on a project right now while I'm just kind of hanging out, killing time. I'll share some of it with you. I have always wanted I've always wanted to create a story about a boy named Billy Boltz. And I've got my wife is in the story and all these different characters, right? So I'll show you guys. So basically, when I was 11 years old, one of my biggest dreams was to become a robot engineer. Like I actually kind of got teary-eyed. As ridiculous as this sounds, but when I was like 11, I took everything apart, man. I was all about robotics. I was all about all of this stuff. And I mean, I had some traumatic shit happen back then. But you know, like I almost cut my arm completely off, which you can't really tell anymore because of my tattoos, which is kind of part of the point. But like I fell through a window and like literally almost cut my arm completely off. I cut 7 tendons, the main nerve and the main artery in my arm. And you can't really see it, but if you can see it from the side, you can kind of see how a lot of that moves in there. It's because it's like a muscle hernia. It's where they sewed everything back together and there's like a big bump. It's gotten a lot smaller over the years, but I can't close my pinky finger It's the only thing that I still can't do after all that. And they told me I was never going to be able to open my hand again. So I would pull my hand open and I'd lay it flat on the floor, and I'd sit on my hand for months and months and months. And slowly I was able to start maneuvering my hand again. True story. It was traumatizing. I remember looking down at my hand and everything was hanging out of my arm, because when I pulled my arm off of the window pane, the glass that it fell through and crashed through, I didn't feel anything. And I just kept feeling this spatter, 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 spatter. It was my heartbeat pumping my blood through, and it was just smacking me in the face. And my friend Tashawn, because I lived in kind of a black neighborhood when I was little, and all my neighbor friends were black kids, man. And we would play ditch and tag and shit all the time. And my friend Tashawn comes running up on the porch, and he looked at me, and his eyes got huge. And he's like, and it's like, I'll never forget his name. I remember him and Emmanuel Brown were my two best friends growing up. And he just looked at me, just shocked. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. And I looked, and I thought, have I been shot? Like, I was 11, but I'm like, I knew I was old enough to know, like, shootings happen. And I started checking myself, and then I looked at my arm, and as I pulled my arm up and looked at it, it just shot me right in the face. And I looked, and everything was hanging out of my arm. And I started freaking out, and I was like, go get my mom, because it was an abandoned house that I decided to jump on the balcony of and slipped. And he goes and he runs, there's 2 houses down, and he comes back. He's like, she didn't answer the door. I'm like, go inside. I'm going to die. I thought I was going to die. And I'm like holding my arm up. It's already gray at this point. And I'm like walking down, and I basically just created this huge trail of blood to my house. My mom came out, she was in the Air Force, she knew exactly what to do. She went in, she ripped a shirt in half and tore it up into a strand and tied a tourniquet around my shoulder. She laid me down, and then like all the neighbors that's one thing about like living in a poor community, man. When something happens to somebody, everybody rallies, dude. Like I remember that. All the neighbors, everybody, they were hearing me wailing, crying, and scared to death. And everybody's like, what's happening? They all came, like, what can I do? And ambulance came, and I got in, and I was trying to be tough at this point, and I remember them asking me, they're like, hey, how do you feel? Do you want to lay down? Like, you lost a lot of blood. You want to take a nap? And I was like, no, I'm good. And I passed the fuck out, man. I woke up with them with a metal brush. It felt like a metal brush cleaning the glass out of my arm. It was the most excruciating thing. Anyway, I won't go on with the story, but anyway, around this time, it really threw things off. And I've always wanted to create a story about Billy Boltz. Basically, like, because I was a little chubby as a kid, because I didn't know I was supposed to stretch out to be a 7-foot tall ogre. So Billy Boltz, and then I've got my wife as a character, and you got Zoltar, who's like this evil droid guy. He's like, and it's basically all about the story of my father, and like, how I had never met my father, and I go out on this mission to try and find him. To come to find out, this is Martin. He represents my father in this story. And he's basically this genius droid engineer that's kidnapped he wins this bot fighting tournament that this wealthy, like evil, sinister, mad scientist robot engineer puts on every year. And my father apparently won when I was a little kid. And because he won, this mad scientist captures him and makes him work for him. And I grew up until this point not knowing where my father was. And so I go out on this mission to find him, and I encounter like this group of old engineers that, they give me all this cryptic advice, and I run into this bully who he starts off as a bully, and then he becomes an ally in my search. And there's just this big story, man. And so I'm actually working now on creating a different version of all of these characters. And so I'm basically running them through, and I'm creating AI 3D rendered versions of these characters, because I'm going to try and start animating them and creating like a YouTube kind of cartoon using these characters. And there's Zippy, my little self-made junk bot. So anyway, that's what I'm working on right now, just to kind of like pass time. And it is kind of an emotional story for me. It's something that I've been working on and touching on for a decade, man, like absolutely a decade. So that's basically, I just thought I'd share that to kill some time. Hopefully you don't mind. Yeah, it hasn't started yet. I'm keeping track. I wouldn't be rambling here about personal stuff if otherwise. I just don't know what else to really talk about at the moment. Is there a summit or not? There is a summit. I think the summit's actually happening right now, but I think we're going to get a recap of the summit from Trump himself here in like probably 30 minutes. Crow is legit 7 feet in person. He makes me look like a child. What's going on, Tom Crown? Well, don't feel bad. I feel like if I met, it's funny because the guy that I fought at Karate Combat, no, he was 6'4". That's right. I think he was 6'4", 6'5". But I was as tall as Michael Jordan in the 8th grade, who's 6'6". I was 6'6" when I was like 15. And the guy that I fought, it's like I've watched that fight back several times, and he really does look small next to me. But I mean, he was like 6'4", 6'5". Like he wasn't a small dude. If anyone just walked up to him, they'd think he was a big guy. But yeah, like when I hit him and he just flew down to the mat, I mean, it looked like I smacked a child. And like, it's just, it's crazy because I don't feel that big. I really don't. I mean, my wife is only 5 foot and I call her my midget, like every day. I'm like, it's just my thing. I call my wife my midget. And, I love her dearly. She's like the best thing that ever happened to me. And I don't mean that in any derogative way. It's just funny to me because she's so little and I'm so big. And when we're walking around anywhere together, everybody's always looking at us like, what the hell is happening? So yeah, it's kind of funny. Fight BitBoy. Yeah, that would never happen. Listen, folks, I know that BitBoy's like really struggling and, I have my bones to pick with him myself, but it's like the reality is he is in such a terrible, dark place. And, he is definitely addicted to the attention. And I mean, you know what? He's said it all himself. I mean, at the very least, he's been pretty honest about his condition, where he's at mentally and emotionally. Like, I don't think anybody could really say anything about Ben or the BitBoy that he hasn't flat out said himself at this point. And I really truly believe that the only way he will start getting better is if he simply excuses himself from everything that he's craving, which is the attention, the limelight. But, at the same time, you have to understand that's his livelihood. And so unless he's able to grow and get views and like be the BitBoy that, had 1 million subscribers on YouTube and all of that, it's just like, what do you have? If he walks away, what does he have left? He might have his sanity. He might be able to recover. And then at that point, I do believe he'd be able to come back. But what does he do in the meantime? It's kind of a catch-22 for him. And I'm not trying to make excuses for him because believe me, he's said things to me. He's done some things that I'm just like, absolute. Like I've had people tell me things that he's said and done. He definitely has made up some stuff. And, but he's also said like, listen, I was at a point where I just thought everyone was the enemy. And like, I've never done anything to BitBoy. I have never given him any reason to believe anything. But it's like sometimes you just get trapped in this cycle. And I would almost wonder if he suffers from like ADHD or, more importantly, OCD to some extent, because I do know about OCD. And I know about delusional thinking, and I know what a toll that can play, especially if you're trying to offset that with something like Adderall, alcohol. Like I have personal experiences with stuff like that, and it's very, 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 very powerful. And you can take one of the most strong-minded individuals, and then watch them fade and watch them change in a way that they don't realize is happening in the moment, and then just spiral. So it's like, I'm not the big like BitBoy cheerleader that I used to be, but I also do absolutely sympathize with him and his family and his kids. And I really do wholeheartedly believe, or hope rather, that he finds recovery, and he can get his situation in order. I really do. And that's where I'm going to leave it. That's where I'm going to leave it. So yeah, I'm just, at this point, I feel like It's just dark. It's dark energy. And I'm just not one. I'm not one to try to perpetuate darkness in any way. And it's like, I don't wish anything ill for Ben in any way. I really would just love for him to get better. You know, honestly, man, I used to love Ben. I really did. I used to absolutely adore him. I used to think he was the sweetest dude. And I just think the fame, it did something to him, man. I really do. I think the fame did something to him. And I think, like he said, like there was a point where he changed from Ben to the Bit Boy. And I think the Bit Boy is extremely toxic. And I think, if anything, he would be better suited to let the Bit Boy die and just be Ben. Just be Ben Armstrong. Go back to the individual, the person that you once were. And just, you know, maybe don't be so trustworthy in terms of like your finances and your wallets and, you know, but, you know, at the same time, somebody that doesn't necessarily think like somebody who's trying to scam and lie, cheat and steal and all that isn't necessarily one who's always going to be looking for ways to prevent it from happening to them. I mean, you know, and sometimes those are very difficult lessons to learn. And so, yeah, I don't know, man. It's like, it is what it is at this point. No, I don't want to fight Ben. I'm sure everybody would think it was a lot of fun and it would be funny. But I don't. I don't see the sense in kicking somebody that's so far down that they themselves recognize that they've got a lot of problems. And to me, that's like the first real step in getting those problems addressed. And that's honestly how I feel. So that's why I don't talk about it much. There's just that I've said everything I need to say. Where can I buy that scam token that everybody in my comments are bot chatting about? Agent 7 AI, whatever. Miguel, I'm assuming you're a bot, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of you. I look at my comments and I'll see like 30 comments in a row, and it's a different shit coin pretty much every week. And it's almost like, hey, let's launch this scam. And let's flood YouTube chat with it and fool people into buying it. And it's like, it's all trash. All right. So what are we at? It's about almost 2:30. I've been live now an hour, almost 7,000 of you guys. Yeah, he disappeared. That was quick. I can make people disappear. I don't like scammers in my chat trying to prey on people. This is bullshit. Still don't see anything yet, but okay, live now from Fox soon. Okay, so they're preparing to cover it on Fox. So we'll watch it there. That's what I watched watch stuff on the last time. So they're just pundits and anchors and things talking right now as we lead up to it. So once this kicks off, I'll see it and I'll change it over and you guys will be able to watch it with me. Make people disappear, Crow the Magician, hocus pocus, hocus pocus. How much do you charge to make people disappear? You know what? In Puerto Rico, you could probably get it done for a candy bar. But I'm joking. I'm totally joking. Have any Kopi alpha? I can't say that I do, but I do know that, like I'm waiting for the big land grab because I've got my land, NFTs just ready to go. But they did tell me recently that, you know, as soon as it's ready, that they're going to alert me. And then I'm probably going to make a big deal out of it. And I'm probably going to do my land grab live on stream. Listen, man, I know the Kopi folks are working. You know, it definitely hasn't been in a time frame that I've been like super jolly about. But at the same time, you know, I know what it's like to build a game and I know how difficult it is. And I know that like, everything that we've seen with Cornucopia so far has been absolutely amazing. And it takes a long time. It takes a long time to build amazing shit. And so I've just been learning just to be patient and, you know, At some point, those Kopi tokens are going to be a treasure trove. Like, I am absolutely confident in that. I just don't know when. I really don't. I just don't know when. Crow, do you have any crypto classes? I used to do courses, but then I saw every cheeseball on the internet was always pushing for a course, and it just, I don't know, for whatever reason, it made me feel dirty somehow. And so I just stopped doing them. I thought about it, but then I was working on a new course. And then instead of making it a paid course, I just made it a playlist on this channel for free. Cause I'm like, listen, man, if you need to know, and I feel like a lot of people that get into crypto more so than not are trying to get into crypto because they need a break. And I'm like, I'm very well invested in the space. If the space does well, I'm doing well anyway. That's the thing, man. I feel like there are so many people out there that claim to be like millionaires, and they've got all these cars and they've got all this shit. And if you just buy their overblown, expensive bullshit course, then you can be too. And I'm like, listen, man, if these people are really making that kind of money, I don't think they would work so hard to sell a course on how to do it. I feel like people, I don't know, man. And maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like, there's wanting to live a life. There's wanting to be like, to do well for yourself and your family. And then there's just pure greed. And like when things start to feel like a point of greed, that's when I check out. I much rather have my name associated with ways that I've helped people evolve and change and better their lives and better themselves than like, oh, this big crypto dude, I bought his course for $1,000 and I learned all the same shit I can learn on YouTube for free. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just provide the fucking YouTube videos for free. So how's the Crowbot doing? Well, Crow Trader, we pretty much put a stop to, because my dev ran into a whole bunch of problems and basically just disappeared on me. And so it is what it is at this point. Like if you still have it and it works, it'll still work. It's just, we're not updating it at this point. We were talking about doing a different version that was like cloud-based, and then like you just pay a monthly thing to use it, which I think would have been fantastic. I think would have been huge, but around that time, holy shit. Around that time, he just had a lot of issues, man. I think what it boiled down to was, I won't go into super big detail, but I will say that like, somebody very close to him ended up getting the jab and it didn't go well, and it created a lot of problems. I'll just say that. When people sell courses, it comes off as Dollar Tree-ish. Kind of. I mean, the reality is like I'm one that I like courses sometimes, because sometimes I would rather pay $20, maybe even $50 for a really solid course. Like I'm probably going to look on Udemy and maybe Skillshare to find courses on like Unreal Engine 5.5, right? I want a full-blown course on how do I create a game, every click, everything explained to me in detail from start to finish, right? I would love something like that. I haven't even looked to see if there is anything, but I want something that teaches me how do I make a first-person RPG game from start to finish. You got a course on that, I'll happily pay. Can I learn how to do that through a multitude of like videos for free on YouTube? Yeah, I probably could, but how much time am I going to waste trying to find those high quality videos that actually teach you something? So there is value to a course. I just don't think that there's, a lot of people, like I created a book, I've released it. I created a whole PDF for newcomers to the space called Crypto Decoded. I don't know how many of you guys remember that. At one point I was going to sell it for like $25 because it's like badass, and it took me a long time to like structure the book and get all the content for it. I mean, it's a badass book, and it's in PDF format. And then I was just like, you know what? Just give it away. Just give it away. Like share it, send it to everybody you know. So it's like, I don't know, man. I have a hard time. I should be doing more to like try and make more money, like especially through a bear market. I should be doing more. I definitely should have done it this past bear market. But I don't know. I kind of struggle with stuff like that for some reason. I don't know why. Crow, I think the Serpo deal will be huge. Got our foot in Latin America. Surprise Cardano Foundation pulled that off. Yeah, that's a big deal. Isn't it something like 80 million transactions or something like that? I wonder, let me see if I can pull that up because that is a big deal. I haven't even talked about that yet. That was just released yesterday, right? Oh my God, every time I see this woman, I just want to throw up in my mouth. This Rachel Maddow. I'm like, how does she still have a job? It blows my mind. But, you know, if you're running a propaganda machine, she's probably great. Probably well worth the money. I love that Alex Becker. Every time I see him talk and say something on Twitter, man, I just kind of laugh. I'm telling you right now, I know a lot of people troll him. I used to troll him, but the more I realize his deal, I'm like, I bet you that dude is not only enlightening in a lot of ways to just like hang out with. He'd probably be fun to roll jujitsu. You know, I mean, he's just a dude, man. He's a dude, but his perspective on things is fucking hilarious. I get a kick out of him. Of course, you got Solana people talking shit about Cardano. Oh God, I swear to God, I know this sounds terrible, but I really do feel like Cardano is the Republican Party and Solana is the Democrats. I swear, I know it sounds terrible to say that, but it's true. Got some tip questions here. Hey brother, how do you feel about these ETFs? Seems like retail is getting crapped on. I don't think retail, I mean, yeah, to some degree, but I feel like it's kind of the it'll get worse before it gets better kind of scenario. You got Poman 13 gifting memberships to the channel again. That was the amount of likes I had in my head. Well, thank you, man. You know, but yeah, I think the ETFs ultimately are probably a pretty good thing because it's going to help grandmas and grandpas and people saving for retirement be able to get access to crypto assets. I see Charles is heading to Japan. I'm trying to find, I actually, I should just look on my own page because I retweeted it. I see myself live on Twitter, 6,500 views. Where is it? If you haven't seen Max Maurer, I would love to have him on my channel. He's got a huge channel though. I don't know if he'd give two shits about being on mine, but I love that Max Maurer guy. I'm so glad he cut his hair too. Because he kind of used to look like, you know, a bit of a hippie in crypto, and then he cut his hair, and I'm like, look at that handsome fella. And he spouts like straight up truth, and I'm like, that guy's a stud. I love it. But man, he just did another video on Solana, and I'm like, geez, little Pete's. Like how these Solana bulls ignore this stuff and pretend it doesn't exist and then keep spouting their nonsense. I'm like, God dang, like how much, like at what price point did you decide, you know what, my soul's not worth this much, I'm going to take it? Like at what point? I really do wonder. I'm still scrolling through my page trying to find this daggone thing. Oh yeah, here we go. So there's this, but then there's something else to it. So I'll go ahead and share. So this is on Frederick Gregard's channel, or on, he reposted this. I'm happy to share the success of our proactive efforts in Latin America. We've secured a groundbreaking partnership with Serpro, the world's largest public IT company. This collaboration is a small milestone in advancing blockchain adoption within the public sector, not only in Brazil, but across Latin America. Our work goes beyond regional impact. The integration of Cardano's technology with Serpro will help accelerate digital transformation, enhance data integrity, and promote blockchain education with Brazil's federal administration as we expect to impact the whole public sector that uses Serpro's tech, now providing 95% of all public sector technology in Brazil, with also cloud computing, digital IDs, which we know is it's coming. This digital IDs are coming, and I'm telling you, this is going to be a significant use case and proof of work for digital IDs on Cardano, folks. Data validation and data centers of other countries of Latin America, such as Paraguay and Argentina. This is just the beginning of a series of interlinked collaborations that will continue to position Cardano and the foundation as global leaders in blockchain infrastructure and education for the public sector. Now, and when I first read this, I thought, well, that's cool, but I didn't really know much about it. But effectively, I think this is something like 80 million users or 80 million transactions worth of throughput being added to the Cardano chain. And it's like a much, much bigger deal than it reads. I wish he would have included like statistics, like this is how this is directly going to affect the Cardano blockchain. He didn't do that, but somebody else did, and I can't find it, and I'll probably cover it in a future video. Let's see, it's 2:42, still waiting. Yeah, thank you, Poe Man, gifting those memberships. How much are you spending a month right now on all the memberships you've gifted over just like however long it's been since you started? I mean, I know that they're cheap. I just said it like $1 a month or something like that. But you're getting up there, dude. Like you're getting up there. And when is the summit? The summit should be starting here in probably, I don't know, 15, 18 minutes. Great to have you here. Open your mind and be enlightened. Whatever happened with Mona? You were going to do some collaboration with her. Yeah, I'm not sure really. We just kind of like faded. You know what I mean? I love her. She's great. But I think I don't know if she got hired by somebody. Mona, I really haven't talked with her very much in a while. I think the last time I saw her was we all went to Gary Cardone's birthday party in Florida. And yeah, I mean, like, she's great. Yeah, but I'm not even sure what she's doing anymore. I haven't seen much. Normally I see her pop up in my feeds and things, and she might have just took a job somewhere. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Maybe I'll ask her. Did you see Charles release that Cardano Constitution story? No, but I'll have to look that up. He's the Negan of crypto. What do you think of CNT projects like having real world business? I don't know anything about that project. I know I have one of my own I'm quite pleased with. I don't really have to go looking for it on a blockchain. What do you accept? Good news. I'm not sure what that's meaning. I can't tell if somebody's trolling like Solana meme coins or something in here. I'm not sure what's happening. Hello, H. Huey. Thank you. Was there a question in there or something? I don't know. I like the little hippo though. It's cute. Higher chances of us dumping, but who cares when you are hodling forever? It's like a documentary. Oh, I haven't even watched that yet. I know what you're talking about now. I haven't watched that yet. I probably will soon though. I guess while we're here and I'm reading through chat questions, I'll throw up my sponsors. Of course, you got I Trust Capital, but you've got Legacy Network and let's see, Legacy Network. Of course, there are links in the description below for all my sponsors. You guys should be checking them out. Level up your relationships, career, health, and skills with Legacy Academy's fun gamified learning. It's an app. You can download it. You can take all these different courses and it's gamified. You level up, you earn points and all kinds of stuff. And then you can use the LGC token for different benefits and perks. So you want to make sure that you check that out if you're into things like that. And then of course, what was the other thing I had? There's another one. I'll pull it up later. Merlin seems really cool. Yeah, that's it. Merlin. Merlin is actually really cool. And you can try it for 30 days free. So I would encourage everyone to check that out. So I'll leave that up. Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto. Try it free. I think it's 30 days free. You can plug in every one of your APIs, all your wallets, your exchange accounts, everything, and it'll suck in every asset you have across all of crypto, and it'll just keep you well informed about all your assets and what their values are and all this other stuff. So yeah, if you're not yet keeping track of everything, or you know that like you've got a bunch of different wallets and you're tired of logging into everything all the time, and if you're like me and you've got like these crazy long passwords and they're all different and it's like a big pain in the ass to check on stuff, try Merlin and it'll probably help you out. Tax-free crypto announced. Holy ish. Yeah, I doubt that. Whatever happened to the Bitcoin mining business? Same thing that happens to most of them. It ran for several years, and then the hash rates just got too high, and it got to a point where what you were able to mine with that equipment just basically got outdated, and it just wasn't as profitable anymore, and so they basically shut a lot of it down. I think I had like 13 of those things. I just let them go. Like it gets to a point where even with the low and like far reduced power consumption, and because of like, you didn't have to cool it or anything. I mean, it just wasn't worth it. I mean, what's it been, like a year and a half, 2 years? I don't even remember when the plug got pulled on that. I mean, it was cool for a little while, but even in the midst of that, I started calculating things a lot. And I'm like, the one thing that people don't talk about when it comes to Bitcoin mining, everybody talks about the halving every 4 years. But realistically, Bitcoin mining yield really kind of gets cut in half to some degree. It fluctuates, but effectively gets cut in half about every 6 months. Because as new miners and more powerful mining equipment goes online, that hash rate climbs, and it just makes it more and more difficult to get a mining yield. And it's like nobody talks about that. And so when you're buying mining equipment, they'll say, oh, buy this 2 terahash miner for $4,000 or $5,000 or however much they cost, but you have to put them on pre-order. So effectively, the companies that are creating these machines are basically getting a roughly 6-month head start. So when you're looking at these calculators and you're like, oh man, okay, so this miner is like $4,000 and it'll let me mine up this much Bitcoin. And if it lasts for 3 years, and you're calculating everything based on the most optimal hash rate at the time. But by the time you actually get that equipment, that data is already outdated. The whole thing to me, like Bitcoin mining to some extent is just, I'm not going to say it's a scam, but depending on where you are in the market, you're better off just buying the Bitcoin and waiting for the value to rise. I mean, that's basically what it boils down to. No, I gave those Bitcoin ATMs away. Actually, I spent like $80,000 on those damn things back in the day. It was such a pain in the ass, and like the stuff people were doing, to me, it's almost like mining. It just wasn't worth it. You had these big conglomerate companies that, are putting up their own ETMs, and then they're hiding their fees, and they were doing all kinds of shady shit. And I felt like it was very misleading, and it's very difficult to be competitive unless you were willing to do the same shit and play the same games. And I wasn't. And I was just like, you know what, this isn't worth it. And that was around the time too when I decided, let's just move to Puerto Rico. Let's just change our scenery, get some culture, see a different part of the world and all of that. And so I gave away the Bitcoin ATMs to a friend of ours. I think I gave them all to her for $1. I don't even know if she still uses them. They could be sitting in a garage. I have no idea. Let's see. Hi, Crypto Crow. Oh, well, hello, BitSource AML Solutions. Look at PBS News Whitehouse coverage for best view. Also, thank you for your passion, respect, and appreciate you. Well, thank you, Data4Fam. I guess I will check out PBS. I know there's nothing on. Let's see. PBS. Oops. Let's see. PBS. Dang it. PBS. Crypto Strategy Summit. See, I knew it. As soon as I pull on PBS, what to know about Trump's cryptocurrency plans and a potential conflict of interest. I mean, these people are just never able to just... Everything has to have some kind of spin or some kind of like narrative associated with it that shits on everything that's happening. Just like people just, I can't. Didn't US Aid fund a lot of PBS or something like that? I don't remember. I could be making that up. But I mean, it's just like, come on. And there's nothing on PBS about this anyway. It's just a bunch of propaganda bullshit. Why Trump's crypto reserve plan has experts worried. Who is that? Time magazine. Of course it is. Oh, goodness. Yeah, I looked. There's nothing there yet. I've got it on Fox and I'm just waiting. They're talking about a missing teen girl in St. Petersburg, Florida right now, actually. So that sucks. The local Bitcoin ATMs here had an 18% premium markup. It was nuts. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And the thing of it is like they hide it in a way so that it makes it look like that's just the price of Bitcoin at the time, and it's not. And it doesn't really. A lot of those machines don't always say this is a fee. It basically makes the newcomer think that that's just what it costs. And it does. And to some extent, when you're running one of those ATMs, you should have kind of a margin, a sizable margin on there, because you have to buy the Bitcoin that ends up being sold on those machines. And until you start getting a steady flow of like, buys and sells that kind of keep balancing each other out over time as you're either looking to accumulate more within the machine or whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, you need those big margin windows. I just didn't like it. It was just another one of those businesses I just didn't like. It felt dirty somehow, and I just didn't like it. Crow, can you make a video or point us in the right direction for someone else's video on how to get our WMT? You know what? I'd love to. I'm still waiting for the team to tell me how to do it. I'm like a little pissed, honestly, because they keep blowing me off, pushing me off, and I'm starting to get frustrated. BitSource AML Solutions Consulting. He says state regulations are requiring disclosure changes for BTM purchases. Oh, I mean, I'm sure it's just going to keep getting more and more stringent, and like it's going to be like anything else, man. Everything effectively just gets moved up so that the little guys can't participate as effectively as like these big corporations that are getting their money from God knows where. And it is what it is. I think the summit is a flop. Too much talk. I don't even know where you get that. Okay, I thought I was out of the loop. No, still just waiting, man. Like, now here we are. We're closing in on 3:00, and I know Trump's going to be talking about it. So I'm sure we're going to find out. Like, what did they work out? What happened? What did they talk about? Did they establish anything? So, yeah. Live now from Fox. So yeah, I'm just waiting. As soon as I see somebody, I'm gonna click it over and we're gonna watch it together. We've been live now an hour and a half. Bro, how many Cardano do I need to retire? Well, I mean, I guess Richard Hart, I'm sorry, does not deserve to be at the summit. I'm sorry. He's a smart guy, cool, but yeah, no thanks. What was the question I got lost on? I had to get rid of another scam coin spammer. Crow, have you got to play Avowed yet? Options if you did. I thought it wasn't that bad of a game, honestly. Honestly, man, I felt kind of burned by the new Dragon Age. And I got to a certain point, and I felt like I was playing a game that thought I was stupid. And so I got like, I just don't know if I can keep playing this. And like I was interested in Avowed. I love all of the CRPGs that Obsidian put out and all that, but like I haven't tried it. And not only that, but it's Xbox exclusive, and for me to play my Xbox, I got to switch stuff around and all that. And it's just like, it's not worth it. I was playing the new Stalker on the Xbox for a while, but I just hate the Xbox controller. I'm sorry. I love my PlayStation controller. Maybe it's just because it fits my giant bear paws better, but I don't like the Xbox controller. I hate using it. And so, yeah, no, I haven't played Avowed. I haven't tried it. And honestly, I don't understand why everybody looks like they came out of the This Is Us, or what's the game where everybody's like got like a mushroom fungus making them zombies? I don't get it. And honestly, and I've watched a lot of videos where you're basically like, what is it, like all the females, like all the powerful people in the game are all females, and just I just can't. I just can't. I'm a realist, and like I'm a realist to an extent, but I'm like within reason. Of course, I'm into like sorcery, magic, and like Baldur's Gate 3. I love that game. Probably one of the best games ever made. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is like an unbelievable game. I just beat that the other night. And The Last of Us, exactly. It's like all these your character jumped out of The Last of Us and then suddenly ends up in Avowed with a mushroom head. And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't know. I can't get into it. I like your Fallout character. Oh yeah. I like my little I love Fallout. I love the Fallout franchise. Game of Thrones, man. I love Game of Thrones, even though it's not really a game. Crow, my life changed in 21 after listening to you about ADA. My ADA average was 3 cents and sold at $2. Well, congratulations, Gabriel. I'm glad. I'm really, really glad. Hopefully we have another really big run. So Fox now looks like they might be transitioning out of one thing into another. So they're in a commercial break. So we'll see. Man, I'm starving. I'm so hungry. I'm confused why people are not cheering Richard Hart defeating the SEC. He didn't really defeat the SEC for one. He probably should have never been gone after to begin with. But I've had Richard Hart on the channel. I've interviewed him. He's definitely a really smart guy. But when a guy sits in like a king's throne with a very strong sense of superiority due to their intelligence, and it's almost as if like we should feel lucky that they're gracing us with their knowledge, when in reality he just kind of created a shit coin and like got a lot of people to believe in it. I'm like, to me it felt like a California cult. Like, I'm sorry, that's just kind of how I look at it. And you could probably say that for all blockchains, I guess, with a leader. But I didn't feel it. I didn't get into it. And I felt like there's so much about it that just was red flag to me through and through. And I'm not saying that he did anything necessarily illegal or bad, but I struggle to see where he did anything to benefit anybody either. Because the token ultimately performed the way everything else does in a bull or a bear market. There's no real rhyme or reason. There's no superiority or inferiority. It was a token that somebody who had a name and some money was able to put together and get followers for. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. When you walk around and like, you know, designer tracksuits and stuff, and I get it. A lot of it was like a shtick where he's like, look at me, I'm so rich, and you know, it's because of this token and all that. I mean, it's a shtick, but if I want to follow somebody for a shtick, I'll follow Alex Becker, because I think that there's at least some purity in what Alex Becker does, because I still believe that he believes wholeheartedly. I'm not saying Richard Hart doesn't. I don't know, for whatever reason, someone like Alex Becker resonates with me as more authentic than a lot, and not like even Alex Becker's like superiority and his alpha status and all that other shit. like it all comes off to me very tongue in cheek, and I think that's on purpose. So yeah, and with Richard Hart, I think he believes. I think he believes his own silliness. So yeah, I just think there's a difference. I think Alex Becker is kind of a character that he portrays to get attention, and then he tries to steer people in the right way to make money. I think he's got much better intent than I believe Richard Hart. I think Richard Hart is very like self-aggrandizing, if you will, if that's even a word. I'm not sure. You guys get what I'm trying to say. Been holding my Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP since 2018. I'm so ready to sell and retire. Pulse Chain also created copies of Ethereum tokens out of thin air, and Hart followers think this is genius. It is what it is. The summit is live. No, I don't think the summit's live, but I think Trump speaking after the summit is about to be. I was hoping that the summit was going to be live streamed and out in the open like everything else is, but I think they spoke behind closed doors, and then Trump's going to speak here in a few minutes and give us a synopsis of what they've accomplished. Hopefully, if they accomplished anything. What's the market looking like right now in this waiting period? Everything's just been kind of waiting. Bitcoin's kind of coming up a little bit. It looks like it's getting a little bit of a mini retracement, but it's sitting at around 80,000 or 88,000. Sorry. Don't want to freak anyone out there. 80,000. Holy shit, Crow. This is bad. This is terrible. Fox News is still it's got people talking politics and things right now. Fox Business switching to the crypto summit shortly. That's good. Send more orders, Oval Office, Trump cryptocurrency event. I sure hope so. I'm kind of tired of waiting. How many different Fox channels are there? Are they all the same? That was from 3 days ago. Crow your coins, crow your coins. You gotta crow your coins. Okay. Yeah, CoinDesk is just a Bitcoin ticker right now. That's pundits just talking shit about each other as usual. The only one I see is Fox Live now. Some dude with a mohawk is talking. Crow, you think we're going to dump? I mean, I have no idea. I wish I could tell you. I really have no idea right now what's coming. But Crow, what if his coins pump in the top 10? Would consider not thinking of it as a shit coin? Probably not. It just means that, no, not necessarily. Solana's in the top 10, brother. I mean, anything's possible. Hopefully Trump says everything will run on ADA and I can get we can. Cardano, fool, is your wife's boyfriend buying you some Soliant? I don't even know what Soliant mean. No, my wife's boyfriend, I talked about this on Twitter. My wife's boyfriend was trying to get me to buy Solana meme coins. And luckily I followed Alex Becker, so I knew to buy Cardano instead. And I'm feeling really, really good about it. Very good about it. Crow, you try using AI for a new theme song? No, I haven't. I love my theme song. Matthew did a great job. Rena Hara did an amazing job on my theme song. I stopped using the long intros because I just felt like nobody's using long intros anymore. And so it's just like it kind of hurt the engagement. And so I just stopped using it. Maybe some other day I'll do something again. I don't know. I would really, really love to do like a Joe Rogan style setup, where, you know, it's just like a studio where it's just face-to-face interviews. But man, unless you have a really big audience, it's difficult to get people out in person. You know, anybody would fly out and do anything to go on Joe Rogan. It would take so much effort for me to get like interviews that I really want. You know, so AD, it's a joke. It's a joke. If you guys don't watch Alex Becker, the joke is that he would always say that Cardano holders are all like cucks and their wives all have boyfriends and stuff like that. It's a joke. That's what he used to say. You guys in the chat. So yeah, that was the joke about, you know, I'm a Cardano holder, so my wife must have a boyfriend, but he was trying to get me to buy meme coins. What is your opinion on XRP? I think XRP is probably going to do pretty well, given the fact that it's, you know, part of the reserve, and there's a lot of stuff. I mean, Garlinghouse is pretty much a part of everything going on right now, isn't he? Let's hear your thoughts on the BitBoy saga. I already gave my thoughts on that. You'll have to go back and listen to it. Turns out Alex Becker was just talking about himself. Maybe, who knows? I don't judge. 5 minutes to summit. Good. Let's see. Shame on you. How do you talk about your relationship? Are you talking about me? I'm totally joking. Who do you think Charles met with if it wasn't Trump? Has it not come out like who Charles met with in Florida? Is it not blatantly obvious, folks? I thought he said it. I thought he said it multiple times before the meeting. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know. I'm pretty sure you guys do too. When will you do a podcast with Cryptos R Us? I'd do a podcast with George anytime. I love George. I think George is cool. If I'm to hazard a guess who Charles met with in Mar-a-Lago, I know that Trump lives there. So, and I also know that Elon lives there. I'm pretty sure Elon lives in Mar-a-Lago right now. I think he's got like a suite set up that he may have even paid for. I'm not 100% sure. But I'm pretty sure, and I will just say, I think Charles met with Trump and Elon over dinner is my guess. I can't confirm that either way, but I think that's what happened. And I thought Charles was pretty clear on his hints and everything he was throwing out for like a week and a half prior to the meeting. So thoughts on Wendy O? Can we trust her? I mean, listen, I like Wendy. I think she's sweet. I think she's come a long way in her technical analysis. I wish she didn't talk about Solana personally, but you know, like as a person, I just think she's just a normal chick, like living in a crazy place like that. Honestly, that's kind of the way I look at Wendy. I mean, like she's cool. She's very, I don't know, man. Like I've always been cool with Wendy. I've never had any problems with her. I've never really heard anything bad about her. And I generally hear just about everything about everybody in one way, shape or form behind the scenes. So, you know, yeah, outside of her, like her Solana bags, I think she's overall pretty cool. I don't have any issues. I'm like, just so you know, I'm watching these different channels waiting for Trump or somebody to pop up on one of them. I'm not just kind of sitting here chatting, hoping somebody clues me in. Can you play the Crow song, please? Oh my, I don't even know. I'd have to find it. Let me see. Oh, I have to play my version. I can't play the one online because I bought the song. I bought all the rights to the song. So like I own the song and all the rights, but if I play it, I have to play the version I have. Otherwise YouTube will flag it. So I can't just like play it off of Spotify because there's some sort of code or something in the first version that would trigger like the different rights groups. So let's see. I'll get it set up and then I'll see. I'll play it at some point. Man, my stomach is growling. But yeah. So I gotta search for that file. Still nothing. Still nothing on Trump speaking, even though it's 3:12. PBS, of course, doesn't have it. NewsHour doesn't have it. Solana co-founder opposes President Trump's crypto reserve proposal. Of course they do. So ridiculous. Okay, this is the version. All right, so I'll play this for just a minute and hold on a second. And then I'm going to find the stream.
If it's full of bear, I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kind of patient, 'cause only time will tell. It's gonna go off, so you better stay calm. And grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. When you're passionate about what you do, you find your own way and keep it real. This is so exciting. There's so much going on, but it's gonna take time, so you better stay calm. And grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. You gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins.
So there's my theme song. Haven't played that in a long time. So Trump's always late. Yeah. Oh, I love the haters in the chat. That is my Crow Your Coins theme song. And it's an amazing song. Yeah, I'm going through all the different possible streaming, like the different channels that this could be on, and nothing is showing it yet. That really does suck how everything is such a scattered. You got to hunt everything down. You don't know what's showing what and when, and the times are never accurate. I mean, it's 3:16. It's like people have lives, even though pretty much most of our lives are wrapped up around all this stuff that's happening. So, oh my God, Poe, man, gifted another 10 Crow memberships. Jeez, oh Pete's. I need to change out my Zen 500 likes LFG. Thank you, Sabine. I appreciate that. I think they did an amazing job on that song. He reached out and said, hey, I'm a music producer. I could produce a song for you. And, we just kind of worked together on it. And he's like, I've got an amazing vocal talent that would love to do it. Rena Hera, I think she lives in, Sweden. I think she's Swedish. It might be Switzerland. I can't remember. But she's a fantastic singer. She's and she has other songs. Rena Hera, look her up. I think she's great. So yeah, man, I don't know. I love that song. It's just, it's difficult to use, but yeah, I ended up buying it. I mean, I don't even remember how much I spent. I mean, it was definitely over 10 grand. I think at one point I gave him like 8 grand worth of Bitcoin. Maybe that was the second time. I don't remember, but it cost me a little chunk of change, and just because everybody seemed to like it a lot and I wanted to be able to use it as an intro, I'll use it for other stuff. Man, I'm so hungry. Come on, man. Is this it? This is NBC News. I mean, it's just showing the White House, but coming up, Trump hosts first White House crypto summit. I'm like, does the summit start at 3? Because like what is happening? This stream started 33 minutes ago. So I don't know. I'll just sit and wait and see what changes, see what pops up. I wish I could make these fonts bigger somehow. Let me see if I can. Oh, I can. Oh, look at this. I can see. Is it changing all of my, yeah, it's changing everything. I don't want to do that, but Trump is delayed, still putting on his orange makeup. Man, you know what? Everybody jokes about Trump being orange, but I'll tell you what, if he didn't have that that tanning lotion or whatever he uses, do you have any idea? He'd be white as Casper the Ghost. He's such a pale guy. I've been on here, seems like hours. It has been 2 hours. We've started this live stream thinking that this was going to kick off a lot sooner. I've read the summit is from 1:30 to 5:30. I also know that Trump is supposed to have been speaking at 3. So, oh, that would be funny. What if they were waiting? What if now this is total like tinfoil hat, but what if they were intentionally waiting for the markets to close for the day before they make some big bold announcements, create another CME futures gap in the process through the night, but all is a testament to why everything needs to be 24/7. That would be a strategy. Crow, what are you hungry for? Man, at this point I eat just about anything. A big steak with mushrooms, that would be amazing. That would be really good right now. It's actually a good idea because they did the same thing with the announcement of the reserve. Yeah, it's like they're announcing stuff after the market's closed so that basically only the crypto retail market can do anything about it. But the problem is that creates these CME futures gaps. And then when the institutions are able to get back to work, they just dump the price or do whatever they can to fill those gaps anyway. So it's just kind of like a moot point, I guess. Fox Business is talking crypto right now. Not that I'm seeing. Oh, wait, maybe Fox Business. Okay, let me see. Fox Business. Fox Business. I mean, I don't, is this isn't it, is it? It says it's live, but I don't think it is. Well, let's see.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to be establishing a task force, a very important task force, Whitehouse, and that's on the FIFA World Cup of 2026, which, as you know, is a big event. It's going to be the biggest event, I think. And Johnny, I think you're going to say a few words. Everybody knows this man on the right. He's sort of the king of soccer, I guess, in a certain way. He was the one that was able to give it to us, and we're going to do a fantastic job in making you at home. So I would very much appreciate it. First time it's ever been in this part of the world, and it's an honor. Thank you very much, Johnny.
Thank you. Thank you, President. Thank you, President. Well, it is a great achievement to bring the World Cup next year, the FIFA World Cup in 26 here.
Holy
In
shit.
the United States, together with Mexico and Canada. And this summer, actually, we have a new competition, the FIFA
Holy
Club
shit.
World Cup in 25, from the 14th of June to the 13th of July.
FIFA World Cup here in the U.S.
States of America, 11 cities, 12 stadiums, the best players in the world, the best teams in the world. America will welcome the world. There will be millions of people coming, Mr. President.
This is not the right
millions
line.
of people. The economic impact is $40 billion between now and
the other ones aren't
next
showing
year. We
anything.
will create 200,000 jobs for these two World Cups. And more than that, we will give joy and happiness to the entire world. And this is priceless, definitely. So thank you, Mr. President, for setting up this task force, because it is important that everyone that comes to America feels safe, feels welcome. And that's why it's important that the government puts together this Whitehouse task force chaired by the president himself. It shows the importance of the FIFA World Cups, I should say, because there are many, many topics to deal with.
Oh, it was?
Of course.
So they're just playing old streams?
Who comes to America and who goes to watch one of these games. We have 10 million tickets.
This is the first I've heard of this.
It's like 3 Super Bowls every day for 1 month. That everyone that goes feels safe, feels happy, and feels that we are doing something special. So we're here to create and to make the best show on the planet ever. And we'll do it together, Mr. President.
Oh, that's great. I love what he said, like 3 Super Bowls a day for a month. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's really amazing when you think of it. I've never heard that expressed. That's a lot. When, when we made this, it was made during my term, my first term. And
Everybody's showing this live right
Can
now.
you imagine? I'm not going to be president. And that's too bad. And then what happened is they rigged the election and I became president. So that was a good thing. That was a good thing. That was quite an achievement for both of us. So I'll be president during the World Cup and during the Olympics, which we were very instrumental in getting. And then, of course, we have our 250th birthday, too. And of that, I wasn't instrumental. That just happened to fall on the same time. So we have those three big events. You don't get very much bigger than that. The Olympics, the World Cup, and number 250. And it's a great honor. But I appreciate your selecting us And we were selected a long time ago, though, during my first term. And
None of the
it's an honor
crypto
to
summit
do it.
stuff has started
My friend
yet.
for a
My
long
honor.
time.
AP is even
Great
saying
deal.
it's coming
Okay,
up.
I'll sign this, and that makes it official, right?
That makes it official, yes.
That's good.
Here we are. Then we have to start working.
Can you talk a little bit about the halftime show that you anticipate for the championship? Will it be like the Super Bowl halftime show or better?
Well, the Super Bowl has around 100 million viewers or 150 million viewers. The World Cup final is 2 billion.
This is the
viewers.
stream
So
most
we have to
people are
make it
waiting on right
20
now.
times
This is what
better.
everybody's watching.
Bigger than the Super
I
Bowl.
think it'll be better. I think it will be better.
Any idea the economic impact of this in all these cities around the country? It's got to be huge.
Yeah, it's huge. It's around 40 billion in only the United States, 40 billion US dollars, the economic impact, 200,000 jobs created.
That's incredible.
It's so per city you can divide by 11 and you know a little bit what each city gets, more or less. Some cities get more, others get less. But we'll have 10 million tourists coming, some with tickets, others without tickets, who just want to be here during these World Cups.
What team is favored now, if there's such a thing? I mean, do they have a team like so many of these great famous teams? What team seems to be favored?
Well, on the club one, which takes place this year, of course, Real Madrid, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, the Germans, Paris Saint-Germain, the French. The big ones are always there, and these clubs are multinationals. They have players from all countries.
They always seem to be there. Right?
They are always there.
Those great
They are
teams.
always there. Yeah. And then next year, Argentina, Brazil,
Right.
England, Germany, Spain.
It's going to be great.
it will be great.
Any questions for Johnny?
US?
US is coming up. US is coming. Watch the US. Some very, very good players playing in Europe, but we need to bring them back here to
So
play here.
can the U.S. win?
The US can win, yes, with the public behind.
See?
They play some of the
what to
top
say.
teams.
He knows.
Yeah. They play in some of
So
the top
there's a
teams.
shot, right?
Yeah, there is a shot. Absolutely, yes.
Great. Well, we'll hold that up for you guys.
All right, come on. We got to get with this. It's 3:30.
Brian, did you have another question?
Well, I was just going to say, this continues your pursuit to bring America back in every aspect, the economy, world peace,
Yeah.
sports now, which is awesome. I want to preview a little bit of the Olympics. I know you talked about that.
Well, I'm just very happy to have done it. I mean, I didn't think this was going to happen. I said, I'll be sitting there, but not as president. So I was, very honored. Actually, Johnny reminded me, called me up very early on. He said, you're going to be president during this whole thing after we won. So it's a great honor for our country to have it, actually. It's a big deal. It's, I don't know which is bigger, the Olympics or the World Cup. What is the story on that? Can I ask you that
No,
question?
the World Cup is much, much, much bigger than the Olympics. Come on. and it's in the whole country. Huh?
Yeah,
The Olympics is
we've
in
got
one
them
city.
both.
Mr. President, it's a long way off, Mr. President, but do you foresee yourself attending some matches or a match?
Oh, yeah, sure. I would like to. I'd like to go to certainly more than one.
Yes.
We'll be making the rounds. It's a period of a month.
Yep.
And it's really top of the line. It's one of the great events, maybe one of the great events of anywhere in the world.
Yes.
Mr. President, since you
All right. Well, I mean, we don't have to show that. I hadn't seen it. I thought that's news to me. Everything is staged the same, so it's difficult to know what's new and what's not. But this is what everybody's waiting on right here. So I guess when things kick off, this is where it's supposed to be. Coming up, Trump hosts first Whitehouse crypto summit. So we're just waiting on somebody to, I guess, walk out of a room and start talking. That said 2 p.m. PST. I've seen so many times. Does anybody actually know? I know that's not the summit stream, Ted. I knew that. Ivar the Boneless, you're stupid. Let's watch the World Cup stuff. Maybe they're trying to wear the close downs of markets. Bitcoin hasn't moved at all, so not even the insiders in the room with Coinbase on their phones have made any moves. I mean, A lot of these exchange owners don't really have to make many moves, really, do they? 7 p.m. How long do you think How long do you think you would live in an apocalypse? Interesting question. I don't know. I think about it all the time. I've got all kinds of books about it. I've got Navy SEAL survival books. I've got, let's just say I don't think I would fare too bad. Maybe I would just get a leather jacket and a baseball bat and start calling myself Negan. And Crypto Kid said 1 hour delay. Let me know in chat. Do you guys really want to sit here with me waiting for this thing to kick off? I'm sure everybody has other things to do. I have no idea. Maybe I can come back and kick off another live stream. But at this point, I just feel like I'm wasting everybody's time. And I know that other YouTubers are doing it. But it's like, what is there really to say until this thing concludes? So let me know in chat what you guys want. If the majority of you guys in chat are like, stay, I'll stay. If you guys like, hey, I'm going to do other stuff until it kicks off, it's totally cool. Oh man, you guys really want to sit here? Okay. We like talking to you. All right, that's fine. I'll wait. I'll just, no, don't leave. Oh, okay. Damn, guys. I really thought you were going to be like, yeah, screw it. No, don't leave. Okay. Stay. All right. Well, shit. Oh, I love you guys too. I don't know why that kind of hits me in the feels a little bit. I was actually kind of hoping you'd be like, no, cut this and go get some food, but you guys are going to stay. Maybe I'll lose some weight while I'm sitting here hanging out with you guys. That's fine too. Stay, we're Negan. Well, we're Negan, I guess. Love the content. All right. Don't leave. Wow. Geez. Okay. I love your voice. I always wanted to be a radio DJ. You know what I always really wanted to do is I always wanted to have like a coast to coast AM. That's something I've always wanted to do. I think about it all the time. It's just like what I would do late nights, stay up late, talk to some like tinfoil hat knucklehead until 4 a.m. Eat, brother. I am definitely gonna have to figure out at what point do I go and grab some food of some kind. What I could do is I could find something. I could find something to put on for a few minutes to go grab some food, come back up, and then I don't have to cut the stream. Let me see what's worth putting on for everybody to watch while I go grab some food real quick. Let's see. Let's see. Probably need like 5 minutes, so I really only need like a 5-minute video. See what you guys have to say. Good idea. Play some Jane's Addiction. Cat movies. Apex self-custody wallet. You can use a Cardano wallet for Apex. You just change the network in the wallet. I don't think people, I'm going to have to do a video on Apex in detail and kind of break it down, but it's basically like Cardano without the governance system. It's like Cardano without the DREPs and everything. So it basically works on a Cardano wallet. It's just like an Ethereum wallet. You know how you change the network to be whatever network. It's the same thing. So you would just go and you would select the Apex mainnet, and then you do your transactions with Apex. So you could use Cardano wallets for Apex. It's built on the same back end. It's built basically with the same system. Apex was just listed on CMC. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. You know what? How about I'll play Jerry and I.
It's proof of value. It's reputation. You know, we could toy around with some of these concepts and figure out a good way to encapsulate it. But ultimately, our system today,
I'll play this
in
for a
emerging
couple
markets, is based on ID, right? Who you are.
Which is going to continue being a bigger and bigger deal every year.
Yeah, and there's countries like I went to Burundi, which didn't even have a census.
Oh, Burundi! Yeah, I was just there last Thursday.
Yeah,
never heard of it.
it's one of the poorest countries in the world.
Okay,
and it doesn't even have a census. Doesn't even know how many people are in their country, so they don't have IDs, right? And so, how do you get them involved in an economy if you don't know who they are? And reputation is kind of going from ID based to behavior based, right? Our ID based system is so flawed because look at all the hacks. Everybody gets your personal data, all the rest.
LifeLock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. And it's broken, right? Doesn't mean that ID doesn't have its place. Of course it does, but it should be ZK proof. There should be something super secure.
100%.
And then the only thing that gets exposed, this is one of the big promises of our industry, right? The only thing that gets exposed is your behavior.
Not just this industry.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. So that's one of it's probably our only big bet outside of the main structure is a reputation system to kind of hold it all together. Mm-hmm. And that reputation system is going to be rolled out soon. And yeah, so we've been in, so let me give you a bit more update in terms of where we are. So we closed our first round, about a month ago, raised about $6 million. It was led by TRGC, a VC. We're looking to launch as quickly as possible. So I'm not sure there'll be room for another round. We may, if there's interest, we may put a strategic round in place to kind of raise more capital to expand. But we're really keying in on a Q1 launch and getting out the door. We've been in testnet since August, and that's kind of where we're at.
You're basically laid out to launch as so many of these big milestones are looking to be met on Cardano,
yes,
as well as everything else for the most part. So it's going to, the competition is definitely going to get more and more fierce.
Sure.
But you guys, I've covered a lot. I mean, since the last video I did on Apex, I can't even imagine the number of development partners you guys have accumulated since then. Like, I really need to go back through and see, okay, who else has come to the table since then? Because there were so many even then.
Yes.
And I found it quite interesting because the way you guys went through kind of announcing these partners and kind of what they were doing and why and all of that. Yeah. And everybody had kind of their little bio about what their intentions were on the chain. And I thought that was really, really cool because you don't really see that too often. And it all seemed very like everybody was joining and becoming a part of this new ecosystem for a very specific reason. What do you think is the primary reason that's been drawing all of these people in, drawing them into a new chain that is not launched, that is, still in its not even an infancy yet. It's still forming.
Yes.
What do you think is really drawing all of these people in?
So I think the value proposition to start with, I've just gone through it. Mm-hmm. I think when people start to understand it, they're like, well, this is different, right? This is something unique that's coming out. It's different from anything else I've heard of, right? So there's like that intrigues people to start with. The second part is the one thing we did do right is the team, the quality of the team, right? We have like OGs, gurus, all the rest of it, like real strong people, also people from traditional business and people from traditional politics and all this kind of stuff. We built a structure legally compliant out of the box, which kind of helps a lot of people. They were very worried about regulatory compliance.
I'm sure.
So Swiss Foundation.
Anytime you need somebody to move to Switzerland, you just let me know. If you need somebody to manage stuff out there, I'll move out there on your dime.
All right, we'll let you know. We'll let you know about that. Beautiful mountains, beautiful scenery, very pragmatic, approach to things. So Switzerland as the foundation, that's very crypto friendly regulator. Best place to kind of issue, right? Our lab is in Abu Dhabi. Alate is based out of Abu Dhabi. All the stuff that's going on over there, and we have a U.S. presence, right? A lot of the original core contributors from the United States. You met Armando, now you met me, in person, or Tom Flynn, or
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Oh, perfect timing. Yeah, this is it. Ooh, what's the statue sitting on the desk all covered up? I like that they have a statue of a crow sitting there on that table waiting to be revealed. I have something to tell everybody here in just a minute. Just messing with you.
This is the widest I can go because we're using a normal lens.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Thank you very much, everyone. Great honor to have you. I know you've all been working very hard and very successfully. And it's a wonderful place, the White House. I want to begin, is Johnny here from World Cup? I want to thank you for the selection. And they just had a presentation in the Oval Office, and I thought this was such a beautiful, this is the trophy. This is a big deal. The World Cup is the biggest sporting event, and Johnny Infantino is my friend for a long time, and during my first term, we worked out a deal to get the World Cup, and then because of lots of interesting things that happened, I ended up being president. When it showed up, I was always disappointed. I wasn't going to make it. I was going to serve 8 straight. Instead, we did it the hard way, but maybe the more important way. So I will be with you as president, Johnny. So maybe you could just say a few words and show how beautiful the World Cup trophy is. Thank you. Yeah, sure, please.
This is
Yeah,
the famous key.
that's a great key.
You want to open it, President? Or-
Well,
I'm
you go
like super
ahead.
nervous right now. I don't know.
I trust you.
So this is the new trophy of the new competition for the FIFA Club World Cup. The 32 best clubs in the world with the absolutely best players.
I like how the new trophy is shaped like a digital
This
token.
competition takes place in United States. Opening game on the 14th of June,
Right.
obviously in Miami. Final on the 13th of July this year in New York, New Jersey. But it's not that. The trophy is special because it's a key, and because as you can see, if I manage to do that,
Oh, wow. That's pretty slick.
tricky. It's so this is a trophy. It is a trophy which represents, and that's why I think it's interesting to show this trophy exactly in this tournament, because it represents the past. But it's
They
also
really are waiting for the market to close to kick this off.
Sports trophy which looks like that. It has engraved the history of the game, soccer or football as we call it, the participating teams of the first edition, the stadiums, the beautiful stadiums in 11 cities in the United States of America where this competition will take place. So at the same time, past, present, and projected to the future. And if I may, President, say another 2 words, and then I let you work. I'd like to congratulate the President and the administration for not only for the World Cup, the Club World Cup, the World Cup, and the great work done, but also for this initiative that you are speaking about here. If I may add something in this respect, I'm not an expert at all, but FIFA, as you know, is a brand which is globally known, a very strong brand. The soccer economy in the world is worth around 270 billion a year. 70% of that, Mr. President, is in Europe. So imagine the potential that there is around the world only in soccer if we develop it. And so FIFA is very, very interested under my presidency to develop a FIFA coin, to do it from here, from America, and to conquer the 5 billion soccer fans in the world. So if there is anyone here who is interested to team up with FIFA, here we are, together with the United States of America, and we will conquer the world of soccer with the FIFA coin. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That coin. That coin may be worth more than FIFA in the end. It could be quite a coin, actually. Anyway, thank you, Johnny. Great job. I just thought you should see this trophy because it's really, it's the biggest sporting event in the world, and we have it here. And we appreciate being selected. Thank you very much, Johnny. You do a fantastic job. And welcome to the first ever Whitehouse Digital Assets Summit. I know that many of you have been fighting for years
As loud as it goes.
for this, and it's an honor to be with you at the White House. I want to thank the White House AI and crypto czar David Sachs, Treasury Secretary. This is David right here, in case you don't know. You know David. And the man who's doing a great job as Secretary of Treasury, Scott Bessent, who's right here. Scott, thank you very much. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, wherever you may be, Howard. Hi, Howard. He's doing some interesting work right now with all that's going on. He's right in the middle of it and doing a great job. Thank you. SBA Administrator Kelly Loeffler. And thank you. SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce. Thank you, Hester. Acting CFTC Chairman Caroline Pham. House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Well, hello, Tom. Representative Brian Stile. Thank you. Brian, thank you very much. Digital Assets Council Director Bo Hines. Good, Bo. Great job. And many other distinguished guests. We have a lot of very distinguished people around the table. Some of them will be speaking. I want to thank Marco Rubio also, who's right over there. And we have tremendous people very interested in this subject. And last year, I promised to make America the Bitcoin superpower of the world and the crypto capital. We're taking action to deliver on that promise, as you know, around the table. Yesterday, I signed an executive order officially creating our strategic Bitcoin reserve. And this will be a virtual Fort Knox for digital gold to be housed within the United States Treasury. That's a big thing. The federal government is already among the largest holders of Bitcoin, as you know. Really one of the largest holders in the world, with as many as 200,000 Bitcoin obtained via civil law and various other forms of law, and including enforcement actions. These existing holdings will form the foundation of the new reserve. Unfortunately, in recent years, the U.S. government has foolishly sold tens of thousands of additional Bitcoin that were worth billions and billions of dollars had they not sold them, but they did sell them, mostly during the Biden administration. Not a good thing to have done. From this day on, America will follow the rule that every Bitcoin knows very well: never sell your Bitcoin. That's a little phrase that they have. I don't know if that's right or not. Who the hell knows? Who knows? Who knows? But so far, it's been right. And well, let's keep it that way. The Treasury and Commerce Departments will also explore new pathways to accumulate additional Bitcoin holdings for the reserve, provided it's done at no cost to the taxpayers. We don't want any cost to the taxpayers. In addition, my order directs federal agencies to conduct an inventory of all crypto assets currently held by the U.S. government and determine how they can be transferred easily to the Treasury. Non-Bitcoin digital assets will be held in a new U.S. digital asset stockpile where they will be managed properly. My administration also is working to end the federal bureaucracy's war on crypto, which was really going on pretty wildly during Biden until the election came about. About 5 months before the election, he became a big fan because he heard how many people were in favor of it and how many people love it and respect it. But I guess it didn't work out too well for him. People understood what was going on and paved the way for groundbreaking innovations in institutional finance. Under the Bitcoin administration, regulators strong-armed banks. I mean, they really did. They strong-armed banks into closing the accounts of crypto businesses and entrepreneurs, effectively blocking some money transfers to and from exchanges, and they weaponized government against the entire industry. But I know that feeling. Institutional finance. Under the Bitcoin administration, regulators strong-armed banks. I mean, they really did. They strong-armed banks into closing the accounts of crypto businesses and entrepreneurs, effectively blocking some money transfers to and from exchanges, and they weaponized government against the entire industry. But I know that feeling also. Maybe better than you do. All of that will soon be over, and we are ending Operation Choke Point 2.0.
Amen.
Now, some people really suffered. It was ridiculous what they were doing. But in the end, they came around, but they came around for the wrong reasons. They came around only because they wanted votes. And they saw that tens of millions of people were against them because of what they were doing. I also want to express my strong support for the efforts of lawmakers in Congress as they work on bills to provide regulatory certainty for dollar-backed stablecoins and the digital assets market. They're working very hard on that. This is a tremendous opportunity for economic growth and innovation in our
Bitcoin's
financial
tanking
sector,
right now.
and will really go a long way. I think it's going to be a tremendous. We feel like pioneers in a way.
Makes no sense.
Tremendous method of growth, and things are very much tied, and we want to keep it that way. The U.S. dollar, long into the future, we're going to keep it that way. I hope lawmakers will send that legislation to my desk before August recess if they can. And they're very much working with you, and you know a lot of them, and a lot of them were committed right from the very beginning. So I just want to congratulate you all for being at the White House today, and a man who knows more about Bitcoin and AI and just about everything else than anybody, David Saxon. I'd like to have you say a few words, David.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're all here today because of your leadership, your vision, and your generosity, and I really want to thank you for that. We're also here because of your desire to make America great and to introduce a golden age in America, including for digital assets. And we're here because of your love of innovators. Or as you might say, high IQ people. Yeah, we know you love high IQ people. And we have about 30 of them here in the room today. These are the top people in the digital asset industry. And one other thing that I think that you love is legal fairness. This is an industry that was subjected to prosecution and persecution for the last 4 years, horrible lawfare, and nobody knows what that feels like better than you do. So we really appreciate the fact that you understand legal fairness and that you're always willing to fight for the right thing, for legal fairness. You never back down. You stand defiant, even in the face of an assassin's bullet. It's an inspiration to everyone in this room, I think. So it's an honor.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I just want to say it's an honor to work for you. It's an honor to work for a president who works every day to get so much done on behalf of the American people. Your administration is moving at tech speed. It's really amazing. It's actually faster than any startup that I've been part of. And your administration moves even faster. So I just want to say thank you for having me be a part of it. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I love working for you. And thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you, David, very much. Appreciate it.
And now I just want to pass the ball to Secretary Besson.
Scott?
David, so today, when President Trump has signed the executive order to establish the strategic Bitcoin reserve and stockpile, we're going to position the United States as a leader among nations in the digital asset strategy. It's important for the United States to recognize this fact and get ahead of the other nations in the digital age. We applaud the president's direction to use the digital assets already in possession of the nation, and we are going to establish this Bitcoin reserve. We will use this authority to augment the assets side of the United States balance sheet. As I've said many times, President Trump is creating assets for the American people while most past presidents have created debt, and a large part of this asset program can be in digital assets. We are going to end the regulatory weaponization against digital assets. The Biden administration's actions did nothing other than punish innovators. And that all of you have made it here today is really a testament to your fortitude. Much of Treasury's responsibility in this order relates to the tax code and determinations around risk weightings. And I'm here to assure you that we are going to work with the controller of the currency, the IRS, and we're going to rescind and amend all applicable previous guidance, and we are going to put a lot of thought into the stablecoin regime. And as President Trump has directed, we are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stablecoins to do that. Thank you.
Technology is at the foundation of the Trump presidency. He understands technology, he embraces technology, and he's going to use technology to drive America forward. The blockchain and Bitcoin technology are a key part of that thinking and embracing that, and here today shows how much a leader the Trump administration and our president is. He understands it. He embraces it. As you said, you're a pioneer in this place, and this is where we're going. We're using the blockchain. We're using Bitcoin. We're going to use digital assets to pound forward, and Donald Trump is leading the way. Can't be more proud of you today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Howard. Kelly, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is truly a historic day, and as a crypto founder, I couldn't be more proud to be part of your administration. You're moving at the speed of tech for sure, and I will just say it's a great day to have the war on not just crypto, but the war on innovation done. And under your administration, we are truly going to enter into the golden age. And I'll just say, as the administrator of the SBA, small business is a tremendous network that crypto can be deployed against, and so the SBA is open to crypto. So I look forward to working with all of the leaders in this room to advance your efforts here. Thank you.
They could be front running at CME futures gap so that we don't have to crash back down when markets open again. Think about that.
Well, Mr. President, I want to say thank you. I want to thank you for the amazing team that you put together. I want to thank you for David. I mean, this kind of a meeting, no one in this room could have envisioned this just a couple years ago. You are the one that has the vision. You're the one that said, we are going to do 21st century finance right here in the United States of America. I've been doing this for 9 years. It is amazing how far we've come, and that's a credit to you, Mr. President, and your leadership, and God bless you for doing this, because it's going to make a huge difference with everything else you're doing. And by the way, Americans love it. They're going crazy. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Anybody else? Go ahead, please.
Does anyone want to say a couple of words? Cameron or Tyler, do you want to?
You're very shy in front
Actually,
of the camera.
Cameron, I think you said something earlier that I thought was really profound. You said that a year ago you thought it would be more likely that you'd end up in jail than at the White House. You, not to put you on the spot, because you didn't do anything wrong, but that was the environment a year ago. But do you guys want to say something, either one of you?
Sure. That was actually Tyler who said that. but
sorry, I still get mixed up.
But yeah, we never thought that we'd get attacked the way we did in our backyard after trying to do the right thing for so many years and always trying to raise the bar with respect to regulations. So it's truly wonderful to see how things have changed and how the pendulum has swung back in the way that it has. And we've always felt that the U.S. should lead in Bitcoin and crypto, and it's ours to sort of lead and win. And it's just wonderful what President Trump has been doing with this, and we look forward to working together. And thanks for inviting us, David, and setting this up.
Thank you. Thank you both. Please.
I was just going to say thank you, Mr. President. Cameron takes credit for a lot of my things I say, so it's not the first time. But the U.S. won the internet, and the U.S. should win crypto. So thank you for your leadership on this.
Thank you both very much. High IQ individuals around this table. That's what I always say. We need high IQ. So thank you very much. Would anybody like to say anything? Please.
Welcome.
I just want to express my deep gratitude for the seriousness with which you're approaching our industry and how you're actually helping guide it in the right direction. I've worked with many central banks in other countries, and when I was working there, I was wondering why I, as an American citizen, can't help the United States financial system reach this higher level that the world is on course towards generally. And so I'm very grateful that finally there's been a new level of kind of common sense and adoption of these ideas. Me and the other people in this room do believe that the crypto, blockchain, Web3 infrastructure is the next iteration of the financial system. And I think that the U.S. should have its leadership position continue in that new financial system. And I'm very, very happy to see people like David Sachs, Secretary Bessent, Secretary Lutnick taking this very seriously with their time, and very grateful to them too. So I'm I'm just overjoyed to see this, and I think it is a big part of how the U.S. can continue its role in the global financial system. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I thought it was very important that we stay in the front of this one. This is a big one. And as you know, China is pushing forward and very strongly as usual. But we're way in the lead, as we are in AI and other things, and we want to stay there. So I thought this was very important, and we have some brilliant people sitting around this table, and it's an honor to have you involved, but we want to stay at the forefront of everything. And this is a very important day in your lives. I know you worked, some of you, very long before people really understood what was happening. And so I congratulate you, but this is a big day. Being in the White House is a big deal, and you have great support. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, please. Thank you very much. Thank you, media. Thank you. Please.
All right. As you see there, we were just listening into those remarks live there out of the White House as President Trump delivered remarks there at the White House Digital Asset Summit focusing on cryptocurrency. We know that a number of key leaders were there from the cryptocurrency industry there on, well, making sure they were there and had their voices heard for the White House Crypto Summit. Of course, this comes after Trump also signed an executive order establishing a government reserve of Bitcoin. That was on Thursday. This is a key marker, though, in the cryptocurrency's journey towards possible mainstream acceptance as well. Wanted to bring that to you here on Live Now from Fox. Thanks so much for being with us.
What the hell what did we just wait almost 3 hours for? Like, you know, to be realistic about it, I get the fact that I get that these guys have been probably sitting in a room now for 2.5, 3 hours talking. And so now is their chance to basically share their opinions as to what Trump is doing. But that was a big nothing burger. I mean, I'm kind of dumbfounded, honestly. I'm a little, it's very interesting. I mean, it's like, it's such a two-handed thing. On one hand, you've got all these people gathered at the White House talking about, you know, basically showing the world, like, we're all in the same room working on some shit. Here we are. I get that. But to not make any real definitive statements as to what to expect other than a reserve, which is cool, but what does that really mean? I don't know. I'm a little dumbfounded. I'm not going to lie. You know, what's happening with Bitcoin is interesting. Cardano's pretty much, well, it's come down a little bit as well. It's about 80, it hit 80 cents. So yeah, I mean, I'm very dumbfounded. I'm not going to lie. I'm very dumbfounded. I don't know what, I'm trying to think to myself, what exactly is it that they are going to announce and when some of these things get ironed out? I really wish they would have gave us some sort of insight as to specifically what it is they've been discussing, which is what I thought. And, you know, a lot of people say, well, Trump doesn't know anything about crypto, but a real leader, somebody who really is looking to make change, it's not necessarily about what they know, but about the faith that they put in the people that do know and what their roles are. And so, you know, you never want a leader that thinks they know everything and then just basically surrounding themselves with a lot of people that know less, because that makes that person, you know, look better or bigger or smarter or whatever. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting much of anything out of this, but I definitely expected a little more than that, or I wouldn't have sat here for, you know, like 2 hours waiting for it. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I guess now we can all move on with our lives and enjoy the weekend. I mean, I kind of, in a way, I feel like I kind of got smacked in the face a little bit, but it's really difficult to feel that way fully, because we have to admit this is still groundbreaking. I mean, it's like we all have these insane expectations because we're so used to seeing how crypto can react, how price action can react to some very small things. But you know, yeah. And like the price action right now, I mean, I have my own little conspiracy theories about what's happening there. I feel like anytime Trump talks, I feel like somebody's intentionally working to dump the market as he's speaking. I feel like it's an optics thing. I think it's an opposition thing personally. Maybe I'm wrong, but you know, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. It's been almost 3 hours. I'm going to go do something else. Try and enjoy your weekend. Stay safe. Thanks for joining me and hanging out with me. I wish there was more substance to that. But yeah, it was basically just a handful of people basically saying, thank you, Trump. You're great. And it's like, okay, cool. That's wonderful. But when do we start seeing how great this really is? I'm definitely waiting for that day. I would love to start seeing some significantly positive announcements as to what exactly we're doing. We know that Elon's upgrading the systems. We know that all this archaic software is like getting updated. And I know that there's a lot of change coming, but I would definitely like to see a little bit more substance as to exactly what that is, how, when, why, etc. So I don't know. Thanks for joining me, folks. I appreciate you being here with me. You could have been here anywhere on YouTube, and you chose to hang out with me, and that does mean a lot, believe it or not. So I do appreciate it. Hopefully there'll be more next time. Bitcoin's probably going to pump back up here over the weekend, so I'm not too concerned. But I think whatever's happening with the prices, somebody's intentionally trying to make everything Trump says look bad for the market. That's what I think is happening. I don't buy it. We all know that there's a lot of big stuff coming. Till next time, crow your coins. I'll see you soon.